Hey, star-crossed souls. Ready to risk everything for a love no law can allow? Welcome to a world where pack blood runs deep, ancient hatreds run deeper, and two hearts are about to collide across a line that's been drawn in violence for 3 centuries. Some loves are meant to be hidden in the shadows. But can they survive the light? Chapter 1. The Silver Moon Pack territory ended exactly where the river bent east. Kaia Thornwood knew this boundary as well as she knew the scars on her father's face, carved there by nightshade claws 20 years ago in the last great battle. She'd grown up hearing the stories, breathing the hatred like mountain air. Never cross the Whispering Creek. Never speak to a nightshade wolf. Never forget what they took from us. Her grandfather's life. Her uncle's mate. 37 silver moon wolves in a single blood-soaked night. But tonight, under a half moon that cast silver ribbons across the forest floor, Kaia found herself stepping over moss-covered stones into the creek's icy water. Her wolf stirred beneath her skin, uneasy but curious. The pack law was absolute. Crossing into nightshade territory meant exile or death. She had 3 minutes before her patrol partner circled back. The leather journal in her pack pressed against her spine. Her grandmother's journal, discovered in the attic last week. Inside, pressed between pages of faded ink, was a map. Not of territory or hunting grounds, but of something her grandmother had called the truth beneath the war. Creek Bend, 3 ancient oaks, the stone with the silver vein. Her grandmother's handwriting had been shaky in those final entries, written just before she died under mysterious circumstances 10 years ago. Kaia's boots found purchase on the opposite bank. Nightshade territory. The scent markers hit her immediately. Pine and midnight rain, threaded with something darker. Power. Danger. She should turn back. Every instinct her father had drilled into her screamed to retreat. But her grandmother's last words haunted her. The real enemy isn't who we think. Find the stone, Kaia. Find the truth before it's too late. She moved through the trees like smoke, her enhanced senses tracking every sound. Nightshade patrols were ruthless. They didn't take prisoners, didn't ask questions. Her father had made sure she understood what they'd do if they caught a silver moon wolf trespassing. The 3 ancient oaks rose ahead, their branches twisted together like lovers' fingers. And there, nestled between their roots, she found it, a boulder split down the middle, a vein of pure silver running through its heart. Kaia dropped to her knees, running her fingers along the silver. It was warm, impossibly warm, as if the metal itself were alive. She pulled out the journal, hands shaking as she compared the sketches to reality. You're a long way from home, Silver Moon. The voice came from everywhere and nowhere. Deep, male, laced with an authority that made her wolf want to bare its throat and bristle at the same time. Kaia spun, claws extending instinctively. He emerged from the shadows like he'd been carved from them. Tall and broad-shouldered, with dark hair that caught the moonlight and eyes that gleamed amber in the darkness. Nightshade. She could smell it on him, that distinctive scent of power and ancient bloodline. But underneath, something else. Something that made her wolf go very, very still. Don't move, he said, but there was no aggression in his stance. He studied her with an intensity that felt like being seen for the first time. What are you doing here? She should run, should shift and disappear into the forest before he could call his pack. But her legs refused to move, pinned by those amber eyes. Research, she said, surprised by the steadiness in her voice. His eyebrow arched. Research. On Nightshade land. In the middle of the night. He moved closer, and she caught his scent fully. Pine and thunderstorms, yes, but threaded through with something wild and intoxicating. Her wolf pressed forward, wanting to investigate, wanting to... No, this was wrong. He was Nightshade. The enemy. The stone, she said quickly. My grandmother wrote about it. She said there was something here, something important about why our packs... She stopped, aware she was giving too much away. But something flickered in his expression. Not anger. Recognition. Your grandmother, he said slowly. What was her name? Elena Thornwood. The name hung between them like a spell. He went absolutely still, those amber eyes widening with something that looked like shock. Then pain. Raw and deep. Elena, he breathed. Gods. You're her granddaughter. How do you know my grandmother's name? He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he moved to the split stone, placing his palm against the silver vein exactly where Kaia's hand had rested moments before. The silver pulsed, throwing light across his features. Because my grandfather wrote about her too. His voice was rough. Wrote about her right up until the day he died. 10 years ago. The same day as your grandmother. Kaia's heart stopped. That's not possible. Isn't it? He pulled something from inside his jacket. Another journal, leather-worn and familiar. He called her his moon's light. Said she was the only wolf who ever understood that the war between our packs was built on lies. Lies. The word came out sharper than intended. The massacre 30 years ago. The one your pack blames on Nightshade. His jaw tightened. My pack says Silvermoon struck first. But both our grandparents spent their last years trying to prove something else entirely. He held out the journal, and she saw her grandmother's name written across the pages in unfamiliar handwriting. Love letters. Dozens of them. They were mates, he said quietly. Fated mates. Across enemy lines. The revelation hit like claws to the chest. Her grandmother, stern, proper Elena Thornwood, had been mated to a Nightshade wolf? It was impossible. It was forbidden. It explained everything. The mysterious trips. The sadness in her grandmother's eyes. The way she died so suddenly, her heart simply stopping on a Tuesday morning with no warning, no illness. Mates can't survive when one dies, Kaia whispered. The bond kills them. Unless they'd already rejected it. He met her eyes, and the sorrow there was bottomless. Unless they'd spent 30 years trying to unite their packs and failing, watching their children inherit hatred they'd tried to heal. Unless they'd given up everything for peace that never came. Kaia's throat tightened. Why are you telling me this? Because you came here looking for truth. Because I've read my grandfather's journals 100 times, trying to understand why he died broken-hearted over a wolf he rarely saw. He took a step closer. And because I think they wanted us to find this. Together. The air between them crackled with something more than tension. When he moved closer still, Kaia caught his scent again. And this time, her wolf responded with a force that stole her breath. Recognition. Want. A pull so strong it felt like gravity. No. Not this. Not now. Not him. What's your name? She heard herself ask. Damon. Damon Nightshade. He studied her face like he was memorizing it. And you're Kaia Thornwood. My grandfather wrote about you. Said you had Elena's spirit. Her stubbornness. He never met me. He watched you. Watched over you from a distance. After Elena died, he said protecting her bloodline was the only promise he had left to keep. Something inside Kaia's chest cracked open. All this time, thinking her grandmother had lived and died within the rigid boundaries of pack law. Never knowing she'd loved across the greatest divide their world knew. Never knowing someone had watched over Kaia in her name. We should go, Damon said, but he didn't move. My patrol will be here soon. If they find you. I know. She knew exactly what would happen. Nightshade wolves didn't show mercy to trespassers. But she didn't step back. Couldn't. The air between them felt alive, electric, charged with something neither had asked for. The stone, she said instead. What does it mean? I don't know. But my grandfather's journal says there are 3 markers like this. Stone, water, ash. He called them the binding points. Said if we could activate all 3, we'd break the spell that keeps our packs at war. Spell? Kaia laughed, but it came out bitter. We're at war because your pack killed ours. Because of blood and revenge and convenient hatred? His eyes flashed. Doesn't it strike you as strange? That for 300 years, both packs have wanted peace, tried for peace, but something always breaks it? Another death, another betrayal, right when treaties are about to be signed. She wanted to argue, but her grandmother's words echoed. The real enemy isn't who we think. Someone wants us divided, Damon continued. Someone powerful enough to manipulate both packs for centuries. My grandfather thought. A howl split the night. Close. Too close. Go, Damon said urgently. Now. That's my second in command. If he finds you, what about you? I'll say I was tracking a deer. He caught her wrist, and the touch sent lightning up her arm. Both of them froze. His eyes widened, amber bleeding to pure gold as his wolf surged forward. Oh gods! She felt it too. The recognition. The pull. The impossible, undeniable truth. Mate. No, she whispered. This isn't, we can't. Another howl, closer still. Damon's hand tightened on her wrist, then released her like she'd burned him. Run, Kaia Thornwood. And don't come back. But his eyes said something else entirely. Unless you want to know the truth. Unless you want to finish what they started. She should ask where, when, how. But footsteps were crashing through the undergrowth now, and Damon's expression had shuddered into something cold and alpha-hard. Kaia ran, hit the creek at full sprint, and didn't look back, even as every fiber of her being screamed to return. She barely registered the icy water, barely felt the branches tearing at her clothes as she raced back into Silvermoon territory. Her patrol partner was waiting at the marker point, concerned but not suspicious. She waved him off with excuses about checking a scent trail, and he believed her because she was Beta Thornwood's daughter, and Thornwoods didn't lie. But as she walked back toward Pack Lands, her wrists still tingling where Damon Nightshade had touched her, Kaia knew everything had changed. She'd crossed the boundary line. She'd met the enemy, and her wolf had recognized him as mate. The one bond that could never, ever be allowed to form between Silvermoon and Nightshade. The one love that would mean exile, execution, or war. Some loves are meant to be hidden in the shadows. But can they survive the light? Chapter 2. Kaia didn't sleep that night. She lay in her bed at the pack house, grandmother's journal pressed against her chest, and felt the mate bond humming in her veins like electricity. Every instinct screamed to go back, to find him, to complete what nature had started. She'd heard the stories her whole life. How a mate bond felt like coming home and catching fire at the same time. How it could drive wolves mad if denied. How fated mates were the moon goddess's greatest blessing. Unless your mate was Nightshade. When dawn broke, she dragged herself to the bathroom and splashed cold water on her face. The girl in the mirror looked haunted, dark circles under green eyes, blonde hair a tangled mess. On her wrist, where Damon had grabbed her, the skin still tingled. "Kaia, you in there?" Her father's voice boomed through the door. "Council meeting in 20 minutes. Don't be late." Right, the council meeting, where they'd discuss border security and Nightshade threats, and all the reasons her people had spent 3 centuries hating his. She dressed quickly, jeans, a simple black sweater, boots. Nothing that would draw attention. Beta's daughter. Loyal pack member. Definitely not someone who'd crossed enemy lines last night and met her fated mate in the process. The council chamber was already full when she arrived. Her father, Marcus Thornwood, stood at the head of the table, all hard angles and barely contained aggression. Her uncle Caleb sat to his right, along with the head warriors and the pack's handful of elders. Finally, her father's tone was clipped. "Take your seat." Kaia slid into the chair reserved for junior pack members in training. 3 other young wolves sat with her. Future leadership, being groomed to hate as efficiently as their parents. "We've had reports," her father began, "of increased Nightshade activity along the border. 2 scouts spotted near Whispering Creek 3 nights ago. Another seen near the eastern ridge yesterday." Kaia's pulse jumped. Had they been looking for Damon? Had someone seen her? "They're testing us," Uncle Caleb growled. "Seeing if we've grown weak. We should strike first, remind them why they stay on their side of the creek." Several warriors rumbled agreement. Her father's expression remained granite hard. "We strike when I say we strike. Not before." He turned to the map spread across the table. "But we double patrols. No one crosses that boundary. Not them. Not us. Is that understood?" His eyes landed on Kaia for just a moment too long. She nodded with the others, throat tight. No one crosses that boundary. Too late. She'd already shattered that law. And if her father ever found out, there's something else. Elder Sarah, the oldest wolf in their pack, leaned forward. Her voice was reedy but sharp. "The anniversary is coming. 30 years since the massacre." The room went cold. 30 years since Nightshade had supposedly attacked a Silvermoon gathering, killing 37 wolves in their sleep. The event that had reignited the ancient feud with fresh blood. "They'll expect retaliation," another warrior said. "Expect us to remember. We always remember." Her father's fists clenched on the table. "My father died that night. My sister. We don't forget. We don't forgive." But what if it wasn't them? The question burned on Kaia's tongue. What if both packs had been manipulated? What if? She bit the inside of her cheek hard enough to taste blood. Saying anything now would raise suspicions she couldn't afford. The meeting dragged on. Patrol schedules, defense strategies, contingency plans if Nightshade attacked. By the time they were dismissed, Kaia's nerves were scraped raw. She'd almost made it to the door when her father's hand landed on her shoulder. "Walk with me." It wasn't a request. They walked in silence through the pack grounds. Past the training yards where young wolves sparred, past the communal kitchen where breakfast scents still lingered. Her father led her to the memorial garden, where 37 stone markers stood in neat rows. "Do you know why I'm so hard on you?" he asked finally. "Because I'm Beta's daughter. Because I have to be stronger. Because you're all I have left." His voice cracked just slightly. "Your mother, my parents, my sister, all taken by nightshade claws. You're my only family, Kaia. My only child. And I would burn the world before I let them take you too." Guilt crashed over her in waves. He loved her. In his fierce, rigid way, he loved her completely. And she was lying to him, hiding something that could destroy everything he believed in. "I won't let anything happen, Dad. Promise me." He turned to face her, and she saw the fear beneath his anger. "Promise me you'll never trust them. Never believe their lies. They're monsters, Kaia. All of them. They're monsters." But Damon's eyes had held the same pain hers did. The same loss. The same question about whether the hatred they'd inherited was even real. "I promise," she whispered, and hated herself for the lie. 3 nights later, Kaia found herself back at the creek. She tried to stay away. Tried to bury herself in training, in duties, in anything that would silence the bond singing in her blood. But the pull was relentless. By midnight of the 3rd day, she'd given up fighting it. He was already there, waiting by the split stone. Moonlight caught his profile. Strong jaw, dark hair slightly too long, shoulders tense with the same conflict she felt. He turned as she approached, and relief flooded his features. "I wasn't sure you'd come." "I wasn't sure either." She stopped a careful distance away, afraid of what would happen if they touched again. "This is insane. If anyone from my pack saw me." "I know." He moved closer anyway, drawn by the same invisible thread. "I haven't slept in 3 days. Can't eat. Can't think about anything but." He gestured helplessly between them. "This. The mate bond. The worst possible mate bond in the history of mate bonds." But his smile was rueful, almost fond. Of course the moon goddess would have a sense of humor. Despite everything, Kaia laughed. It bubbled up unexpected and real, and for a moment the weight on her chest lifted. "We can't do this," she said, but didn't move away. "My father, your pack, if they found out." "I know." Damon pulled out his grandfather's journal. "But I can't walk away without knowing the truth. Can you?" She thought of her father's face at the memorial garden, the grief that had shaped her entire life. "No, I can't." "Then we're both fools." He opened the journal to a marked page. "My grandfather wrote about the second marker. The water. He said it was hidden in the Vale Falls, behind the curtain where both territories meet." Vale Falls. Kaia's pulse quickened. "That's neutral ground. No pack claims it because strange things happen there," Damon finished. "Wolves disappear. Time moves differently. Most think it's cursed. Or protected." She pulled out her grandmother's journal, found the matching entry. "My grandmother wrote the same thing. She said the falls held the heart of the binding. That if we could reach it, we'd understand what's kept our packs at war for 300 years. Damon's eyes met hers, amber and intense. "Will you come with me? Tomorrow night?" Every rational thought screamed no. This was how wolves got killed. Sneaking off to cursed locations with enemy pack members, chasing conspiracy theories built on journals written by star-crossed lovers. But her grandmother's last words echoed. "Find the truth before it's too late." Yes, the word felt like jumping off a cliff. Tomorrow night. Midnight. Kaia. Her name on his lips sent shivers down her spine. "If this goes wrong, if we're caught, then we'll face it together." She met his eyes, saw her own reckless determination reflected back. "We're already damned anyway. Might as well make it count." He laughed. A real laugh that transformed his face from brooding to beautiful. "You know, if circumstances were different, I think I'd really like you. If circumstances were different, I'd probably hate you less." Probably. Jury's still out. But she was smiling too, and the moment felt stolen from another life. One where they could just be 2 wolves meeting under moonlight, where pack names didn't matter, where loving him wouldn't be treason. He reached out slowly, giving her time to pull back. When she didn't, his fingers brushed her cheek, gentle, reverent, sending sparks across her skin. The mate bond flared between them, warm and golden and utterly forbidden. "I should go," she whispered, but leaned into his touch instead. "You should." He stepped closer, until barely a breath separated them. "But I don't want you to." "Damon." A branch cracked in the distance. Both of them froze, all softness evaporating into alpha alertness. Damon's hand dropped from her face as he scented the air. Silver Moon Patrol. Eastern Route. His voice was urgent. You have maybe 2 minutes. Tomorrow night, Kaia said, already backing toward the creek. Vale Falls. Midnight. I'll be there. His eyes held hers for one more heartbeat. Be careful, Kaia Thornwood. You too, Damon Nightshade. She ran, heart pounding, blood singing with adrenaline and something far more dangerous. The patrol passed her heading the opposite direction. She waved casually, mentioned checking a scent trail, and they accepted it because Beta's daughter didn't lie. But as she climbed into bed that night, wrists still tingling from his touch, Kaia knew she was becoming someone her father wouldn't recognize. Someone who met with the enemy in secret. Someone who wanted things she couldn't have. Someone falling for a wolf she was supposed to hate. Chapter 3. The next night dragged like centuries. Kaia went through the motions. Morning training where she fought harder than necessary, afternoon duties organizing supply inventories. Evening meal with her father where every bite tasted like ash. He asked if she was feeling well. She lied and said she was fine. The lying was getting easier. That terrified her most. At 11:30, she slipped out her bedroom window, leaving behind a decoy shape under the blankets that wouldn't survive close inspection, but might buy her time. The pack house was quiet. Most wolves already asleep or on patrol routes she'd memorized years ago. The forest welcomed her like an old friend. She moved through shadows and moonlight, every sense heightened, aware that one wrong step could mean discovery. Exile. Death. Or worse, her father's face when he learned what she'd become. Vale Falls lay on the border between territories, claimed by neither pack because of its reputation. Kaia had been here once as a child on a dare. She'd made it within 50 yards before overwhelming dread sent her running home. Her father had punished her for going near it, said the falls were protected by ancient magic that didn't distinguish between friend and foe. Now, standing at the forest's edge with mist rising from the cascade ahead, she understood what he'd meant. Power thrummed in the air, old and wild and utterly other. Not wolf. Not human. Something that predated both. You feel it too. Damon emerged from the tree line on the Nightshade side. He wore dark clothes that made him part of the night, but his amber eyes glowed in the darkness. Even from 20 feet away, she felt the mate bond pull taut between them, urging her closer. Like the air is alive. Kaia joined him at the edge of the mist. My father said this place was cursed. Mine said it was sacred, that the first wolves made a pact here, before the packs split. Damon pulled out both journals. Our grandparents came here together. Multiple times. Listen to this. It's from my grandfather's journal, dated 30 years ago, 2 weeks before the massacre. Elena and I performed the ritual tonight. The water showed us the truth. Gods, the truth is worse than we imagined. It's not Silver Moon or Nightshade keeping this war alive. It's someone else. Something else. Using both our packs like puppets. We tried to reach the third marker, the ash, but the binding rejected us. Said we weren't strong enough to break it. Not alone. We need. Damon stopped, jaw tight. The entry ends there. The next page has been torn out. And the following entry is his last, written the day he died. All it says is, they know. Forgive me, Elena. Forgive me for failing you. Kaia's hands shook as she found her grandmother's matching entry. We were so close. The water revealed everything. The spell woven into our bloodlines, the puppet master pulling strings for 3 centuries. But Thomas and I aren't enough. The binding needs new blood. Younger. Stronger. United by something more than rebellion. United by what? Damon leaned closer to read over her shoulder, his warmth seeping into her back. The word is smeared. Water damage, maybe. Or tears. Kaia traced the ruined letters. But the next line says, if anything happens to us, the children must finish this. The bond will guide them. Trust the bond. The bond. Damon's breath ghosted across her neck. You think she meant a mate bond? Kaia turned to face him, finding his face inches from hers. She knew. Somehow she knew that that the next generation would be stupid enough to bond across enemy lines. His smile was strained. Or maybe she hoped that her granddaughter and his grandson would be the ones to break the cycle. The implications crashed over Kaia like a wave. The binding needs new blood, united by something more than rebellion. Damon, what if the only way to break this, whatever this is for us to complete the mate bond? His voice dropped low. to fully mate, claim each other, become what our grandparents never could. The air between them crackled with tension and possibility and fear. Completing a mate bond meant everything. Marking, mating, souls intertwined so deeply that one couldn't survive without the other. It meant choosing him over her pack, over her father, over the only life she'd ever known. We can't, but she didn't step back. We don't even know if this is real, if there's really some conspiracy, or if our grandparents were just desperate to justify. Then let's find out. Damon gestured toward the falls. The water. They said it shows the truth. We go through together, see what they saw, and then we decide. And if it's real, if there really is someone manipulating both our packs, then we stop them. His eyes blazed with determination. We finish what Elena and Thomas started. We break the binding, end the war, and maybe, he reached out, fingers hovering near her face. Maybe we get to keep this. Whatever this is between us. Kaia caught his hand, pressed it against her cheek, let the mate bond sing through their joined skin. And if our packs don't forgive us, then we build a new one. His thumb traced her jawline. You and me. Our own rules. Our own future. It was reckless. Impossible. Everything she'd been taught to never want. Okay, she breathed. Let's find the truth. They approached the falls together, hands linked. The mist swallowed them whole, cold and clinging and strange. Sounds from the forest faded. No birds, no wind, no rustling leaves. Just the roar of water and the thunder of their hearts. Behind the curtain of falling water, a cave mouth gaped wide. Power pulsed from within, rhythmic as a heartbeat. Ancient. Waiting. Last chance to run, Damon said, but his grip on her hand tightened. Not a chance. Kaia stepped forward, pulling him with her. Let's go meet the truth. The cave swallowed them in darkness. Then light bloomed, not from any visible source but from the walls themselves. Symbols covered every surface, glowing blue and silver and gold. Not written, carved, burned, bled into the stone over centuries. In the center of the cave, a pool of water reflected light that shouldn't exist. Its surface was mirror smooth, impossibly still despite the waterfall's thunder just beyond. This is it. Damon's voice echoed strangely. The heart of the binding. What do we? The water's surface rippled. Images formed in its depths, not reflections but memories. History playing out in liquid light. They saw it all. 2 packs living in harmony 300 years ago. A council of elders from both bloodlines, working together to protect their territory from human hunters. And then a figure in shadows. Neither Silvermoon nor Nightshade. Something other. A witch. The water showed her working dark magic, weaving spells into the very foundations of pack law. Whispering suggestions that became suspicions. Suspicions that became accusations. Accusations that became violence. The first blood spilled between Silvermoon and Nightshade wasn't over territory or insult. It was manufactured. Orchestrated. A sacrifice to fuel a spell that would feed on hatred for centuries. Gods, Kaia breathed. It's real. All of it. The vision shifted. The witch, older now, face hidden behind a hood, stood before the same pool, speaking words in a language that made Kaia's bones ache. The binding spell. The curse that would keep both packs at war, generation after generation, their hatred feeding her power. But why? What did she gain from their endless conflict? The water showed one more image. The witch's face, finally revealed. Kaia gasped. She recognized those features from pack history. Recognized the name that appeared in glowing letters above the vision. Morgana Ashworth. The first Alpha's mate. The traitor who betrayed both packs to human hunters. Or so the story went. She wasn't a traitor, Damon said slowly. She was a witch. And when the packs discovered what she was, they tried to kill her. So she cursed them. Kaia's stomach twisted. Cursed us. Made us hate each other so thoroughly that we'd never unite against her again. But why maintain it for 300 years? She must be immortal. The word came from behind them. Kaia and Damon spun. A woman stood at the cave entrance. Ancient and ageless at once, with silver hair and eyes like fractured ice. Power rolled off her in waves, making Kaia's wolf cower and snarl at the same time. Well done, little wolves. Morgana Ashworth smiled, and it was a terrible thing. You've discovered my secret. Just like your foolish grandparents did 30 years ago. You killed them. Damon's voice was granite and fury. They came here, learned the truth, and you killed them. I severed the mate bond they'd been too cowardly to complete. Did you know that kills just as efficiently? Morgana circled them like a predator. They wanted to expose me. Unite the packs against their true enemy. As if I'd allow that after 3 centuries of careful cultivation. Why? Kaia demanded. What do you gain from keeping us at war? Power, child. Every drop of blood spilled between Silver Moon and Nightshade feeds my immortality. Every generation born into hatred strengthens the spell. You and your petty pack feuds are my eternal fountain of youth. She laughed, and it echoed like breaking glass. And now here you are. Another pair of star-crossed fools, thinking love can break ancient magic. Our grandparents almost succeeded, Damon said. That's why you killed them. They were weak, mated in secret, but too afraid to claim each other fully. The bond needs completion, marking, mating, soul-binding. They couldn't commit. Can you? Morgana's smile widened. Because that's what it would take. Complete your mate bond here, in the heart of my spell, and perhaps, you'd be strong enough to shatter it. But it would mean everything, little wolves. Your packs would know, would see, would hunt you both to the ends of the earth. You're bluffing, Kaia said. If we could really break your spell, you wouldn't tell us how. Oh, I'm counting on your fear keeping you apart. Just like your grandparents' fear did. Morgana's eyes glittered with malice. You see, I've had 300 years to perfect this curse. It doesn't just feed on violence between Silver Moon and Nightshade. It feeds on love denied, on mates forced apart, on every generation that could have chosen unity but chose hatred instead. She gestured, and the cave walls showed new visions. Dozens of wolves throughout history. Different faces, different times, but the same story. Silver Moon and Nightshade wolves who'd felt the mate bond pull, who'd met in secret, who'd been discovered and destroyed. 23 mated pairs over 3 centuries, Morgana purred. Each one too afraid to complete the bond. Each one betrayed, executed, torn apart. Their suffering delicious fuel for my spell. You're a monster, Kaia breathed. I'm a survivor, and you're just the latest chapter in my very long story. Morgana turned to leave, then paused. Oh, and I should mention, your packs already suspect something. A Silver Moon scout reported seeing you near the border 3 nights ago, Kaia dear. And someone in Nightshade noticed Damon's recent distraction. They're watching, waiting. One wrong move, and they'll discover your little secret. She vanished into mist, leaving them alone with the pool's dying light. Kaia's legs gave out. She sank to the cave floor, mind reeling. She's going to expose us. Use us like she used all the others. Not if we break the spell first. Damon knelt beside her, caught her face in his hands. Kaia, we can end this. Right now. Complete the mate bond, shatter her curse. Free both our packs from 3 centuries of manufactured hatred. And lose everything. Tears burned her eyes. My father, your family, both our packs will see us as traitors. We'll be hunted, killed, or we'll be heroes. Eventually, when the truth comes out, if they believe us, if they don't just think we're using this conspiracy story to justify betrayal. She gripped his wrists, desperate. Damon, I'm scared. So am I. He pressed his forehead to hers, and the mate bond hummed between them, warm and right and terrifying. But I'm more scared of living the next 300 years under her curse. Of our children inheriting this hatred. Of never knowing what we could have been. We barely know each other. I know you're brave. Stubborn. Smart enough to question everything you were taught. I know you taste like moonlight and courage. His lips ghosted over hers, not quite a kiss. And I know that if we walk away from this cave without completing this bond, we'll regret it for the rest of our lives. It's too fast. Too dangerous. Too perfect, he finished. You're my mate, Kaia Thornwood. The one the moon goddess chose for me before we were born. And I'm yours. That doesn't change whether we accept it or not. It just means we either live half a life apart, or we risk everything for a chance at the whole thing. She closed her eyes, feeling the bond sing through every nerve. Feeling the rightness of him. The way her wolf had known from that first moment by the split stone that he was hers. That this impossible, forbidden, dangerous connection was somehow the most real thing she'd ever felt. If we do this, she whispered, there's no going back. I don't want to go back. He tilted her chin up, amber eyes blazing with certainty. I want to go forward. With you. Against her. Against anyone who says this is wrong. My father will never forgive me. Then we'll spend the rest of our lives proving we made the right choice. Kaia opened her eyes, met his gaze, and felt something inside her chest unlock. Fear still lived there. Doubt. grief for what she'd lose. But underneath it all, determination, hope, and love. Already, impossibly, for this wolf who should have been her enemy, but was somehow her destiny. Okay, the word was barely a breath. Let's break this curse. Let's save our packs. And let's make Morgana Ashworth regret the day she thought she could control us. Damon's smile was fierce and bright. That's my mate. And then he kissed her, and the world caught fire. Chapter 4. The kiss tasted like lightning and destiny. Kaia's hands tangled in Damon's hair, pulling him closer, deeper, until she couldn't tell where she ended and he began. The mate bond exploded between them, golden and fierce and undeniable. Her wolf surged forward, desperate to claim, to mark, to make this real. Damon growled low in his throat, a sound that was pure alpha and pure need. His hands gripped her waist, lifting her as if she weighed nothing, pressing her back against the cave wall beside the glowing pool. Are you sure? He breathed against her lips. Once we start, Kaia, once we... I'm sure. She bit his lower lip, drawing blood, tasting copper and magic in him. Mark me. Claim me. Make me yours before I lose my courage. His eyes flashed gold, his wolf rising to the surface. You're the bravest person I've ever met, and I'm going to spend the rest of my life proving I'm worthy of you. He kissed down her throat, finding the place where neck met shoulder, the traditional marking spot. His fangs lengthened, scraping gently over her pulse point, and Kaia shuddered with want. Do it, she gasped. Please, Damon, I need. His fangs sank into her flesh. Pain and pleasure exploded through her in equal measure. The mate bond snapped fully into place, no longer a pull, but a connection. She felt him in her mind, her soul, her very bones. Felt his love, his fear, his absolute certainty that she was his and he was hers and nothing would ever change that. When he pulled back, his lips were stained with her blood. The mark on her neck burned with magic, visible to any wolf who looked. A claiming, an announcement, a declaration of war against everyone who said they couldn't be together. My turn, Kaia whispered. She pulled him down, found the same spot on his throat, and let her wolf take control. Her fangs, smaller but no less sharp, pierced his skin. His blood tasted like storms and safety and home. The bond completed from both sides, weaving their souls together in ways that could never be undone. When she released him, breathing hard, she saw the mark she'd left, her claim on him as visible as his on her. Well, Damon said shakily, touching the wound. I guess we're committed now. No going back. None. He pulled her close, and she felt it, him. In her head, in her heart. His emotions bleeding into hers, hers into his. The mate bond, fully realized, powerful enough to. The pool erupted in light. Kaia and Damon stumbled back as water shot up in a column, swirling with colors that shouldn't exist. The glowing symbols on the cave walls pulsed in rhythm with their heartbeats. Power, raw and ancient and wild, built in the air until breathing felt like swallowing lightning. The binding, Damon gasped. We're breaking it. Kaia, we're actually. The water collapsed back into the pool with a sound like thunder. For a moment, everything went silent, still, waiting. Then the cave shook. Not an earthquake. Something worse. Something magical. The symbols on the walls cracked, light bleeding out like wounds. The pool turned black as night, its surface churning with rage. No, Morgana's voice shrieked through the cave, everywhere and nowhere. You stupid children. You've ruined everything. She materialized in the cave entrance, face twisted with fury. But something was wrong. Her skin looked translucent, her form flickering like a dying candle. The curse breaking was killing her, slowly but inevitably. 300 years, she snarled. 300 years of perfect power, and you two fools destroy it in one night. Good, Kaia said, stepping in front of Damon. You don't get to feed on our hatred anymore. You don't get to control us. It's over. It's not over until I say it's over. Morgana raised her hands, and dark magic crackled between her fingers. If I can't have my curse, I'll settle for your deaths. I'll make sure your packs find your bodies, marked and mated, and use your betrayal to fuel the next 300 years of war. She hurled magic at them, black and corrosive and screaming. Damon shoved Kaia aside, taking the brunt of the blast. He flew backward, slamming into the cave wall hard enough to crack stone. Pain exploded through the mate bond, driving Kaia to her knees. Damon! She crawled toward him, but Morgana was already preparing another attack. How sweet. True love. The witch's laugh was poison. Let's see if it survives when I rip him apart while you watch. Rage like Kaia had never known ignited in her chest. Her wolf surged forward, not in panic but in pure, protective fury. She'd just found him, just claimed him, just completed a bond that had been written in the stars before they were born. And this monster thought she could take him away? Not a chance. Kaia threw herself at Morgana, shifting mid-leap. Her clothes shredded as her wolf form emerged, white blonde fur, green eyes blazing, fangs bared. She tackled the witch, driving her back toward the cave entrance. Impossible, Morgana gasped, struggling against Kaia's weight. You're newly marked. You shouldn't have this kind of power. But she did, because Damon's strength flowed through the bond. His alpha power, his determination, his love. All of it feeding into her, making her faster, stronger, more than she'd ever been alone. Together, his voice whispered through their connection. We're stronger together. Kaia felt him rise behind her, felt his wolf emerge. He was magnificent, black fur, amber eyes, massive even for an alpha. He joined her at the cave entrance, positioning himself between Morgana and escape. You wanted us to complete the bond, Kaia snarled, human words coming from wolf jaws through sheer force of will. You told us that was the only way to break your curse. Did you really think we'd just let you walk away after? I thought you'd be too afraid of your packs to go through with it. Morgana backed toward the pool, power flickering around her like dying fireflies. You thought wrong. Damon's wolf voice was deeper, darker. Game over, witch. Your curse is broken. Your power's fading. And we're going to make sure every wolf in both packs knows what you did. They'll never believe you. They'll see your marks and call you traitors. Let them. Kaia advanced. We've got proof. Your cave. Your spell. Your own confession. And we've got something else you could never understand. What's that? Morgana sneered. Hope. Kaia shifted back to human form, standing naked and unashamed beside Damon as he did the same. Their marks glowed in the cave's dying light, his claim on her shoulder, hers on his throat. You fed on our hatred for so long that you forgot. Love is stronger. Always. And you just taught 2 packs full of wolves that everything they believed was a lie. So thank you, Damon added, wrapping an arm around Kaia's waist. For showing us the truth. For underestimating us. And for giving us a reason to unite our packs against a real enemy. Morgana's face contorted with rage and desperation. I won't let you, I can't. She lunged for the pool, diving into its black depths. But instead of disappearing, she screamed. The water turned to silver fire, consuming her, burning away 300 years of stolen life. Her form dissolved into ash and memory, her final shriek echoing through the cave until even that faded to nothing. The pool settled, clear, pure, reflecting only starlight from the cave mouth. And through the mate bond, Kaia felt it, a lightness spreading across the entire territory. From Silver Moon lands to Nightshade borders. Like a weight being lifted. Like waking from a nightmare to find the dawn. The curse, she breathed. It's really gone. We did it. Damon pulled her close, and she could feel his heart racing against hers. We actually did it. They held each other in the sacred cave, marked and mated and alive. But reality crashed back quickly. Our packs, Kaia said. They'll feel the curse breaking. They'll come looking. And when they find us, they'll find us together. Damon tilted her chin up. Marked. Mated. Ready to tell them everything. They might kill us anyway. They might. His smile was grim but determined. But we've got truth on our side. And each other. That's more than 23 pairs before us ever had. Kaia thought of her father's face. The grief and rage when he saw her mark. Saw what she'd done. How do we make them understand? We start with the journals. Elena and Thomas's words, they trusted their own. We show both packs that their beloved elders discovered the conspiracy, that Morgana killed them to keep it secret. Damon grabbed their grandparents' journals from where they'd fallen. Then we bring them here. Let them see the cave, the spell remnants, the proof carved into these walls. And if they don't believe us? If they think we fabricated everything to justify betrayal, then we fight. His eyes blazed with alpha authority. We fight for our bond. For the truth. For a future where Silver Moon and Nightshade wolves don't have to grow up hating each other for crimes they didn't commit. Through the bond, Kaia felt his absolute conviction. His willingness to stand against the whole world if necessary. And matching it, her own fierce determination to make this right. Okay. She squared her shoulders. Let's go face our packs. Together. Together, he agreed. They shifted back to wolf form. Easier to travel, harder to track as human. But as they left the cave, emerging into pre-dawn light, Kaia heard it. Howls. From both directions. Both packs. Coming for them. They know, Damon said through the bond. The curse breaking must have alerted them. Or someone saw us. Kaia's stomach dropped. Damon, if they catch us here together marked. Then we don't give them time to think. We split up, go to our own packs, and call for a council meeting. Neutral ground. Both alphas present. We tell them everything at once, so neither side can twist the story. It was dangerous. Separating while their bond was so new felt like tearing herself in half. But it was also smart. If they approached together, both packs would see only betrayal. Separate, they might have a chance to be heard. Where? She asked. The split stone, where we first met. It's close enough to both territories that neither can claim ambush. He pressed his wolf's head to hers. 3 hours. Dawn, can you convince your father to come? I'll make him come, even if I have to challenge him for it. That's my mate. Pride and worry flowed through the bond in equal measure. Be careful, Kaia. If he tries to hurt you, I'll feel it through the bond, and you'll come running. I know. She licked his muzzle, a wolf's kiss. Same goes for you. If your pack turns on you, you'll burn down half the forest getting to me. His wolf grin was fierce. I love you, you know. I should probably say that. Since we're mated and all. I love you too. The words felt right. True. Even though they'd known each other barely a week. Now go, before I lose my nerve. They ran in opposite directions. Her toward Silvermoon, him toward Nightshade. The mate bond stretched between them like a golden thread, never breaking, always connecting. Kaia pushed her wolf faster, racing through territory she'd known her whole life. Home. Except it didn't feel like home anymore. Not without him. Not knowing what she knew about the lies that had shaped every stone and tree. She burst into pack lands just as the sun touched the horizon. Wolves were already gathering, alerted by the curse breaking, by the strange feeling in the air, by alpha instincts that something had changed. Her father stood at the center of the crowd, face like thunder. His eyes found her immediately, scanning for injury, for threat, and locked onto the mark on her shoulder. Time stopped. She watched his expression shift from concern to confusion to dawning horror. Watched him realize what the mark meant. Who had put it there? What his daughter had done? No. The word came out broken. Kaia, tell me that's not. Tell me you didn't. I need to call a council meeting, she said, shifting to human form and grabbing clothes someone offered. Silvermoon and Nightshade. Both alphas. Neutral ground. Now. You're marked. Her father's voice rose. You're marked. By Nightshade. By the enemy. You. I'm marked by my mate. She pulled on jeans and a shirt, covering the mark but unable to hide the truth of it. And before you declare me traitor, before you do something we'll all regret, you need to hear what I've learned. What grandmother Elena discovered before she died. That got his attention. Don't you dare bring your grandmother into this. Don't you dare use her memory to justify. She was mated to a Nightshade wolf. The words silenced the gathering crowd. Thomas Nightshade, Damon's grandfather. They were fated mates, and they spent 30 years trying to unite our packs. And Morgana Ashworth killed them for it. Morgana Ashworth has been dead for 300 years. No, Dad. She's been alive. Immortal. Feeding on our hatred. On a curse she placed on both packs to keep us at war forever. Kaia pulled out her grandmother's journal. It's all here. In grandmother's own handwriting. Every secret meeting. Every discovery. The truth she died trying to share. Her father grabbed the journal, hands shaking. She watched him read, watched his face go pale, watched tears he'd never shed in public gather in his eyes. This can't be real, he whispered. It is, and I can prove it, but I need both packs present. I need everyone to hear the truth at the same time. She met his eyes. Please, Dad. Trust me. Just this once. Come to the split stone at dawn with Alpha Marcus. Let me show you what 300 years of lies have cost us. And if this is a trick, if this is Nightshade using you two, then you can exile me. Execute me. Whatever pack law demands. She stood tall, even as her heart broke. But if I'm telling the truth, if grandmother and Thomas were right, don't you want to know? Don't you want to understand why she died looking so broken? Silence stretched. The gathered wolves waited for their beta's decision. Through the bond, Kaia felt Damon having a similar confrontation on Nightshade land. felt his father's rage, his pack's betrayal, but she also felt his hope, his belief that this could work. 1 hour, her father said finally. The split stone. Alpha Marcus will come. But Kaia, his voice cracked. If you've betrayed us, if this is all lies to justify mating with the enemy, I won't be able to protect you. Do you understand? Your own father won't be able to save you. I understand. She touched his arm gently. And I'm sorry, Dad, for the pain this will cause, for breaking your heart. But I'm not sorry for finding the truth, or for choosing my mate. She left before he could respond, before the tears in his eyes could become accusations. She had an hour to get to the split stone, an hour to prepare for the confrontation that would either unite their packs or start a war that would make the last 3 centuries look tame. Through the bond, she felt Damon's presence growing stronger as he approached from the Nightshade's side, felt his determination matching hers. Ready, his voice whispered through their connection. Ready, she answered. Let's change the world. Chapter 5. Dawn broke over the split stone like Judgment Day. Kaia arrived first, flanked by her father and a dozen Silvermoon warriors. They formed a defensive line on their side of Whispering Creek, every wolf tense and ready for violence. Alpha Marcus stood at the center, a massive gray wolf in his prime, scars from 100 battles marking his fur. He'd said nothing on the journey here, but his eyes promised death if this was a trap. Through the mate bond, Kaia felt Damon approaching from the opposite direction, felt his anxiety matching hers, his love steadying her fraying nerves. I'm here, she sent through their connection. Whatever happens, we face it together. Together, he echoed. Always. The Nightshade wolves emerged from the tree line. Damon at the front, his father Alpha Reeve beside him, and 20 warriors at their backs. All in wolf form. All radiating hostility. Damon's amber eyes found Kaia across the creek, and even with both packs watching, the mate bond flared visible, golden light threading between them. Several wolves on both sides growled. Her father's jaw clenched so hard she heard teeth crack. Show them, Damon sent. Show them everything. Kaia shifted to human form, letting her father's offered clothes cover her, but making sure the mark on her shoulder remained visible. Damon did the same on his side, his mark from her clearly displayed. Traitor, someone from Silvermoon snarled. Nightshade whore, another voice added. Kaia flinched but held her ground. Damon's fury blazed through the bond, but he controlled it, focusing on his own pack's murderous glares. Alpha Marcus shifted to human form, his voice a thunder that silenced both packs. Explain. Now, before I let them tear you both apart. 300 years ago, Kaia began, surprised by the strength in her voice. Our packs were allies. Friends. United against human hunters who threatened all shifters. Lies. Alpha Reeve spat from the Nightshade's side. Silvermoon betrayed us. Murdered our ancestors in their sleep. No, Damon said. We were told Silvermoon struck first. That they slaughtered innocent Nightshade pups. Both stories are lies. Both designed to keep us hating each other. By who? Alpha Marcus demanded. Kaia pulled out her grandmother's journal. By Morgana Ashworth. The witch we thought betrayed us to human hunters. The one both packs united to kill. She held up the journal. Except we didn't kill her. We only thought we did. And she spent 300 years punishing us for trying. She laid out everything. Morgana's curse, the binding spell fed by their hatred, the immortality she'd gained from their endless war. She showed them Elena's journal entries, the maps, the desperate final words written before she died. Damon added his grandfather's journal, showing Thomas's matching discoveries. The love letters between them, the conspiracy they'd uncovered, their plan to unite the packs that had died with them. Our grandparents were fated mates, Kaia said, meeting her father's devastated gaze. They spent 30 years trying to save us all, and Morgana killed them for it, broke their bond and made it look like natural causes. This is convenient fiction, Alpha Reeve snarled. A story to justify your betrayal, to make us accept this abomination. He pointed at their marks. You've mated the enemy and now expect us to believe some conspiracy theory? I expected you to care about the truth, Damon shot back. I expected you to wonder why, for 300 years, every attempt at peace has failed. Every treaty collapsed. Every generation inherits the same hatred without question. Because Silvermoon can't be trusted. Because Nightshade are murderers. Both packs surged forward, and for a moment Kaia thought it would end in blood. But Alpha Marcus raised his hand, and Silvermoon stopped. Alpha Reeve did the same for Nightshade, though his wolves snarled their frustration. "You claim Morgana Ashworth is alive," Marcus said coldly. "Prove it. Show us this which who supposedly controlled us for centuries." "We can't," Kaia admitted. "She's dead. We killed her last night when we broke her curse." Laughter erupted from both sides, bitter and disbelieving. "How convenient," Alpha Reeve mocked. "The villain is dead, can't defend herself, and we're just supposed to accept your word." "Not our word," Damon said. "The cave's word. The veil falls. Come with us, both of you. See the spell chamber where Morgana worked her magic for 3 centuries. See the proof carved into the walls. The veil falls are cursed ground," Marcus said. "No wolf goes there and returns unchanged. Because Morgana made it that way. To protect her secret." Kaia stepped forward, into the creek, water swirling around her ankles. "I'm asking you to trust me. Just this once, Dad. Come see what grandmother died trying to show you." Her father shifted to human form, his face aging years and seconds. "Elena." His voice broke on her name. She mentioned Thomas a few times. Near the end. "I thought she was confused, lost in memory." "You're saying they loved each other, across impossible lines, just like Damon and I do." Kaia touched the mark on her shoulder. "I know what this looks like. I know what pack law says. But I'm not a traitor. I'm your daughter. And I'm asking you to believe that I wouldn't betray everything you taught me without the best reason in the world." Silence stretched like a blade. Through the bond, she felt Damon having the same wordless plea with his father. 2 children asking for impossible faith. 2 alphas weighing love against law. 1 hour, Alpha Marcus said finally. "Show us this cave, this proof. And if you're lying, if this is some Nightshade trick, then you execute us both," Kaia finished. "I understand." Alpha Reeve. Damon turned to his father. The Nightshade Alpha's jaw worked. "If this is betrayal, if my son has been compromised by Silvermoon manipulation, then I'll accept whatever punishment you decree," Damon said. "But I'm telling you the truth. And I think deep down, you know something has always been wrong. You've felt it, haven't you? The way hatred feels, unnatural, forced." Something flickered in Alpha Reeve's eyes. Not agreement, but doubt. And doubt was enough. "To the falls," he said. "Both packs. Witnesses from each side. They moved as a group. Silvermoon and Nightshade wolves together for the first time in 300 years. United by suspicion and desperate curiosity." Kaia walked beside Damon, their hands finding each other in the chaos. Through the bond, his strength flowed into her. "We've got this," he sent. "Truth is on our side." "I hope truth is enough," she answered. The veil falls came into view, mist rising from the cascade like reaching fingers. Several wolves whimpered, old instincts warning them away. But the alphas pushed forward, and their packs followed. Behind the waterfall, the cave mouth gaped wide. The symbols on the walls still glowed, though fainter now without Morgana's magic feeding them. The pool at the center remained clear, reflecting faces of wolves who'd never stood together like this. "Gods," Marcus breathed, running his hand over the carved symbols. This is ancient. Older than our packs," Damon confirmed. "Look at the dates. The names. 300 years of spell work, all documented on these walls." Alpha Reeve approached the pool, staring into its depths. "Thomas wrote about this place. I found his journals after he died. Thought he'd gone mad in his final years, obsessing over a witch who was long dead." His voice roughened. "He wasn't mad, was he?" "No," Kaia said softly. "He was trying to save you. Both of them were." The pool rippled and images formed, not at their command, but as if the water itself wanted to testify. Both packs watched in stunned silence as history played out. Morgana's betrayal, her curse, 3 centuries of manipulation. And then, the 23 pairs of mates who'd felt the pull across pack lines, who'd met in secret, who'd been discovered and destroyed. The water showed Elena and Thomas, young and in love, meeting at this very stone. Showed them growing old, trying desperately to break the curse without completing their bond. Showed Morgana severing that bond, killing them both in a single moment of cruelty. "No," Marcus whispered, falling to his knees. "Mother, God's mother, I'm so sorry. I thought I never knew." Several Silvermoon wolves were crying openly now. On the Nightshade side, Alpha Reeve's shoulders shook with silent grief. The water shifted, showing more recent images. Kaia and Damon meeting at the split stone. their desperate research, the moment they realized they were mates, their decision to complete the bond and shatter the curse. They chose us, a young Silvermoon warrior said in wonder. Chose to save the packs over their own safety. They broke 300 years of hate, a Nightshade scout added. With love, they committed treason, an elder from Silvermoon snarled. Mark or no mark, mate bond or no, they crossed forbidden lines. Lines drawn by a dead witch's curse. Damon's voice cracked with frustration. Can't you see? Everything you think you know about Nightshade is a lie. Everything they think about Silvermoon is manufactured hatred. We're not enemies. We never were. Easy to say now that you've got what you want, the elder spat. Your mate, your bond, while our packs have to live with the consequences. What consequences? Kaia challenged. Peace, unity, an end to senseless death? Those sound like pretty good consequences to me. The law was built on Morgana's lies. She turned to address both packs. Yes, we broke pack law. Yes, we crossed the boundary. But we did it to save you. All of you. From a curse that would have kept killing us, generation after generation, forever. She's right, Alpha Marcus said, rising to his feet. His eyes were red-rimmed but clear. I've been Beta and Alpha for 30 years. And in that time, how many wolves have we lost to border skirmishes? To raids and revenge killings? How many children have grown up without parents because we couldn't stop hating Nightshade? Too many, Alpha Reeve answered quietly. Far too many. He looked at Damon, and something in his expression shifted. You completed the mate bond knowing it would cost you everything. Knowing your pack might execute you for it. I completed it knowing it was right, Damon said. Knowing Kaia is my fated mate, and no curse, no ancient hatred, no pack law was going to keep me from claiming what the moon goddess herself intended. And you, Reeve turned to Kaia. You mated my son knowing Silvermoon would call you traitor? I mated him knowing he's mine, and I'm his. And together we're strong enough to break curses and face down immortal witches, and stand here asking you to be brave enough to choose peace over hatred. She lifted her chin. So yes, Alpha Reeve, I mated your son, and I'd do it again. Silence fell like snow. Both packs stood frozen, watching their leaders, waiting for judgment. Alpha Marcus looked at Alpha Reeve. Old enemies. Old hatred. 300 years of bloodshed between them. Your son is brave, Marcus said finally. Stupid. Reckless. But brave. Your daughter is fierce, Reeve answered. Stubborn. Infuriating. But fierce. They're well matched. Terrifyingly so. The alphas stared at each other for a long moment. Then slowly Marcus extended his hand across the creek. My mother loved your father, he said. They were mates who couldn't complete their bond because of a curse we didn't know existed. Maybe it's time we honored their sacrifice by doing what they couldn't. Alpha Reeve looked at the offered hand like it might bite. Then at his son, marked and mated and standing tall beside his Silvermoon mate. Then back at Marcus. He gripped the Silvermoon Alpha's hand. Peace, he said. For the first time in 300 years. Real peace. Peace, Marcus agreed. Both packs exploded. Some in cheers, others in outrage, many in confused disbelief. But the Alphas held firm, hands clasped across the boundary line that was no longer forbidden. This doesn't solve everything, Marcus said, raising his voice above the chaos. There's still distrust to overcome, wounds to heal, treaties to negotiate. But the curse is broken. The real enemy is defeated. And maybe it's time we stop being what Morgana made us and start being what we choose. Agreed, Reeve said. But there's one thing we need to address first. He turned to face both packs. Kaia Thornwood and Damon Nightshade broke pack law, crossed forbidden boundaries, mated without permission from their alphas. Under normal circumstances, this would mean exile or execution. Kaia's heart stopped. Through the bond, she felt Damon's sudden fear. However, Reeve continued, these are not normal circumstances. They broke a curse, revealed a conspiracy, and proved that mate bonds are stronger than artificial hatred. He looked at Damon with something that might have been pride. I won't punish my son for being brave enough to choose love over fear. Neither will I, Marcus said, meeting Kaia's eyes. My daughter did what I was too afraid to let her mother do. She followed her heart across impossible lines. And she saved us all in the process. His voice thickened. Elena would be proud. Tears blurred Kaia's vision. Dad, don't make me regret this, he said roughly. And don't expect me to like him right away. He jerked his chin at Damon. But you're my daughter, my only child. And I won't lose you the way I lost my mother. Damon's father approached more slowly, studying his son's mark. You'll live on Nightshade lands. Both of you. Your mate can't just. With respect, Alpha, yes she can. Damon's voice was firm. Kaia is my mate. She goes where I go. And if you can't accept her in our pack, then we'll leave. Build our own pack. Make our own rules. You'd abandon Nightshade? I'd choose my mate over anyone. Even you, father. Even the pack. Damon took Kaia's hand. That's what the mate bond means. Alpha Reeves' jaw worked. Then, unexpectedly, he laughed, a rough, startled sound. Gods, you really are like Thomas. He said the same thing about Elena once. Right before I was born. He shook his head. Fine. She stays. Both of you stay. But she proves herself. Earns her place in Nightshade through actions, not just a mate mark. Deal, Kaia said immediately. I'll prove I belong with him. With all of you. And I'll do the same on Silvermoon lands, Damon added. We'll bridge both packs. Be living proof that unity works. Idealistic pups, Marcus muttered. But there was warmth beneath the gruffness. The gathered wolves began to disperse. Some still suspicious, others cautiously hopeful. All of them processing a world that had fundamentally changed in a single night. Silvermoon and Nightshade didn't embrace like long-lost friends. But they didn't bare fangs either. It was a start. Kaia found herself alone with Damon by the split stone as both packs headed back to their territories to begin the complicated work of peace. We did it, she breathed. They actually listened. We're not executed. I'm calling that a win. He pulled her close, and she melted into him, feeling the rightness of their bond sing through every nerve. Though I suspect the hard part is just beginning. Probably. She looked up at him. Your pack hates me. My pack doesn't trust you. We're going to spend the next year proving ourselves. Worth it. He kissed her forehead. You're worth anything. Even if I'm stubborn? Especially because you're stubborn. Someone has to keep me honest. She laughed, and it felt like breathing for the first time in days. They'd done it. Broken the curse. United the packs. Or at least started the process. Claimed their mate bond openly. And survived. What now? She asked. Now. Damon's smile was wicked. Now I take my mate home. Show Nightshade Pack that their future Luna is every bit as fierce as they are. And later, when we're alone. His voice dropped low, intimate. I finish claiming you properly. Mark every inch of skin. Make sure you know exactly what being my mate means. Heat flooded through her. Promises, promises. Oh, I always keep my promises. He nipped her earlobe and she shivered. But first, one more thing. He knelt in the creek, in the space between territories, and pulled something from his pocket. A ring. Simple silver, but with 2 stones. One pale moonstone, one dark onyx. Silvermoon and Nightshade united. Kaia Thornwood, he said, eyes blazing with love and certainty. Will you be more than my mate? Will you be my partner? My co-alpha? The one I build a new future with? Yes. She didn't hesitate. To all of it. Always yes. He slid the ring onto her finger, and through their bond, she felt his joy match hers. They'd started as enemies, became mates, and now they were something new, something the packs had never seen before. A bridge, a beginning, a love that had broken ancient curses and would remake their world. Together, she sent through the bond. Together, he answered. Forever. Chapter 6. Nightshade territory felt different from Silvermoon. The forests were darker, the undergrowth thicker, the pack lands carved from wilderness that fought back. When Damon led Kaia into the pack compound, 50 pairs of eyes tracked her every move. Not all of them friendly. Relax, Damon murmured through their bond. You've faced down an immortal witch. You can handle a few suspicious wolves. A few. She counted at least 30 in the immediate area, and more emerging from buildings. This is the entire pack. They're curious. You're the first Silvermoon wolf to enter our lands in a century without it ending in bloodshed. He squeezed her hand. Give them time. Time. Right. Because centuries of hatred evaporated overnight. A woman approached, mid-40s, silver streaked through dark hair, moving with the grace of a seasoned warrior. Her eyes raked over Kaia with clinical assessment. Damon. This is her. Mother, meet Kaia Thornwood. My mate. Kaia, this is Sarah Nightshade. Beta of our pack and woman who will make your life miserable if you hurt me. Good to know where we stand, Kaia said, extending her hand. Sarah studied the offered hand for a long moment before accepting it. Her grip was firm, testing. You broke my son's sense. Made him risk everything for a mate bond. He made me do the same. Did you want to? Or did the bond force you? It was a test. Kaia felt it in the weight of the question. The bond pulled us together. But I chose him. Every step. Every risk. Every moment I could have walked away and didn't. Why? Because he's mine. Simple. True. Because the moon goddess doesn't make mistakes. And because love that can break 300-year-old curses is worth fighting for. Something softened in Sarah's expression. Thomas used to say the same thing about Elena. That she was worth any consequence. She released Kaia's hand. Welcome to Nightshade, Kaia Thornwood. You'll be watched. Judged. Every mistake magnified. Can you handle that? I'll have to. Good answer. Sarah turned to her son. Alpha Reeve wants to see you both. Council chamber. Now. They followed her through the compound. Past training grounds where young wolves sparred with intensity that made Silvermoon's sessions look tame. Past communal areas where families watched Kaia with open suspicion. Past warriors who let their eyes flash wolf gold in territorial warning. Friendly bunch, Kaia muttered. They'll warm up. Damon's confidence through the bond helped settle her nerves. Once they see you can hold your own. The council chamber was smaller than Silvermoon's, but more fortified. Stone walls, narrow windows, defensible. Alpha Reeve sat at the head of a scarred wooden table, surrounded by his inner circle. Sarah, 3 senior warriors, and an ancient wolf who smelled of herbs and old magic. Kaia Thornwood. Reeve's voice held no warmth. You'll understand that accepting you into our pack isn't a simple matter. I understand. Do you? He leaned forward. You're Silvermoon born and raised. Beta Marcus's daughter. You've been taught to hate us since you could walk. Now you expect us to trust you because you're mated to my son. No, Kaia said carefully. I expect you to judge me by my actions. Not my bloodline. Actions. Reeve's smile was sharp. Excellent. Because we have a tradition in Nightshade. When an outsider seeks to join our pack, especially through a mate bond, they must complete the trials. Damon stiffened. Father, that's not necessary. It absolutely is. Reeve's eyes never left Kaia. 3 trials. Strength. Cunning. Loyalty. Pass all 3 and you're pack. Fail any, and you return to Silvermoon. The mate bond doesn't change that. That's not how mate bonds work, Damon argued. You can't just separate. Then she better not fail. Reeve cut him off. Unless you're saying she's not strong enough? Not smart enough? Not loyal enough to your bond? It was a trap. Say yes, and insult his mate. Say no, and accept the trials could separate them. I'll do it, Kaia said before Damon could respond. 3 trials. I accept. Kaia. It's fine. She met Damon's worried gaze. I'm not afraid of proving myself. Through the bond, she felt his pride warring with his concern. You don't have to do this. We can leave, start our own pack. I want to stay, she sent back. I want to earn their respect, not just ride in on your mark. He didn't like it, but he understood. When? Kaia asked Reeve. Tonight. We don't believe in delayed gratification. The alpha's smile was predatory. First trial at moonrise. The arena. Every pack member is invited to watch. Don't disappoint us. The arena was a natural amphitheater carved from rock and earth, surrounded by torches that cast dancing shadows across stone walls. When Kaia and Damon arrived, the entire Nightshade pack had already gathered. Hundreds of wolves in human and shifted forms, all watching with predatory interest. First trial, Reeve announced from the arena's edge. Strength. You'll face 3 of our warriors in combat. 1 at a time. Yield or incapacitation ends each bout. Kill your opponent, and you fail automatically. Kaia's stomach dropped. 3 warriors? She was good. Her father had made sure of it. But Nightshade trained differently. Harder. More brutal. Who are the warriors? Damon demanded. Volunteers. Reeve gestured, and 3 wolves stepped forward. All male. All massive. All looking at Kaia like she was prey. This isn't fair, Damon started, but Kaia touched his arm. It's fine. I've got this. You don't have to prove anything to them, he sent desperately. Yes, I do. And so do you. She kissed his cheek quickly. Trust me. She entered the arena, feeling every eye on her. The first warrior, a brute named Kellen, cracked his knuckles and grinned. Try not to break too easily, Silvermoon. Kaia didn't respond. She'd learned early that talk before a fight was just distraction. She stretched, rolling her shoulders, feeling her wolf stir beneath her skin. Begin, Reeve called. Kellen charged, pure aggression, counting on size and strength. Exactly what Kaia expected. She sidestepped at the last second, letting momentum carry him past her. She spun, claws extended, and raked across his back as he stumbled. First blood. The crowd roared, some in approval, others in outrage. Kellen turned, eyes flashing gold, and attacked again. This time she didn't dodge. She shifted mid-step, bones cracking, fur erupting, wolf form surging forward to meet his charge head-on. They collided in a snarling mass of teeth and claws. He outweighed her by 50 pounds, but she was faster. She ducked under his jaw, found his throat, and bit down. Not enough to kill, but enough to prove she could. He yielded immediately, shifting back to human and pressing a hand to his bleeding neck. First bout to Kaia Thornwood, Reeve announced. Second warrior enter. This one, Lyra, was female and wiry, moving with a grace that spoke of speed over strength. She circled Kaia in the arena, looking for openings. Nice work on Kellen, she said conversationally. But I'm not going to be so easy. Good. Kaia matched her circling. I don't want easy. They clashed like lightning meeting stone, fast, furious, neither giving ground. Lyra was better than Kellen, her strikes precise, her defense solid. Kaia took hits she couldn't dodge, feeling ribs crack, tasting blood. But she gave as good as she got. The match dragged on, 5 minutes, 10-15. Both of them bleeding, panting, neither willing to yield. The crowd grew restless, some calling for blood, others impressed by Kaia's endurance. Finally, Kaia saw her opening. Lyra overextended on a right hook, leaving her left side exposed for half a heartbeat. Kaia struck. A palm thrust to the solar plexus that drove the air from Lyra's lungs and sent her stumbling back. Before Lyra could recover, Kaia swept her legs, dropping her to the ground, and pinned her with a forearm across her throat. Yield, Kaia panted. Please. I don't want to hurt you more. Lyra's eyes widened at the respect in those words. She tapped Kaia's arm twice. Yield. Second bout to Kaia Thornwood, Reeve said. Was that approval in his voice? Third warrior. The last fighter stepped into the arena, and Kaia's heart sank. He was easily 7 feet tall, pure muscle, with scars suggesting decades of combat experience. His wolf form would be enormous. This is Garrett, Reeve said. My head warrior. He doesn't lose. Everyone loses eventually, Kaia said, with more confidence than she felt. Garrett smiled, not cruel, but testing. Show me what you've got, Luna. The title, Luna, mate to the future alpha, sent whispers through the crowd. He'd acknowledged her position. Now she had to prove she deserved it. He didn't charge like Kellen or circle like Lyra. He waited, centered and calm, letting Kaia come to him. She feinted left, struck right, he blocked easily. She shifted, attacking from wolf form. He met her with his own shift, massive and terrifying. They fought like gods and monsters. He had strength and experience. She had speed and desperation. They traded blows that would have killed lesser wolves, neither giving ground, both refusing to yield. Through the bond, Kaia felt Damon's fear and pride mixing. Felt his wolf howling to join her, to protect her. Held back only by pack law that said the trials must be faced alone. I'm okay, she sent, though her vision was blurring from blood loss. I can do this. I know you can. You're amazing. His belief gave her strength. She focused, searching for Garrett's weakness. Everyone had one. Every fighter had a tell. There, his left rear leg favored slightly when he turned right. Old injury, compensated for but never fully healed. Kaia attacked right, forcing the turn. Garrett's leg buckled for a fraction of a second. She swept it completely, dropping his massive frame. Before he could recover, she was on his back, jaws around his throat, all her weight pinning him down. Yield, she growled through her wolf's throat. You've trained me well. Now yield. For a long moment, he didn't move. Then slowly, he tapped the ground with his paw 3 times. Yield. The arena exploded in sound. Howls, cheers, shocked disbelief. Kaia released Garrett and stepped back, shifting to human form and swaying on her feet. Everything hurt. Her vision swam. But she was standing. 3 bouts to Kaia Thornwood, Reeve announced, and this time there was definite approval in his voice. First trial passed. Damon was at her side in an instant, supporting her weight, pouring concern through the bond. Gods, Kaia, you're hurt. I'm fine. She leaned into him anyway. 2 more trials, right? 2 more trials, Reeve confirmed. But not tonight. Rest. Heal. You've earned that much. He met her eyes across the arena. You fight well, Silvermoon. Perhaps there's nightshade in you after all. It was a compliment. A grudging one, but real. As Damon helped her out of the arena, wolves she'd fought approached. Kellen clapped her shoulder. Carefully, given her injuries. Lyra nodded with respect. And Garrett, massive, terrifying Garrett, smiled. You found my weakness, he said quietly. Most never do. You'll make a good Luna. Thank you, Kaia managed. They made it to Damon's quarters. A space carved from stone and wood, smelling of pine and him. He laid her on the bed carefully, and she felt his healing power flow through the mate bond, knitting broken ribs, sealing cuts, easing bruises. That was insane, he said, voice rough with emotion. You could have been killed. But I wasn't. I passed. She caught his hand. 1 trial down, 2 to go. I hate this. Hate watching you risk yourself to prove something they should just accept. But this is how it works. How it has to work. She pulled him down beside her. I'm not just your mate, Damon. I'm going to be Luna of this pack. They need to know I can hold my own. That I'm worth following. You are. They're just too stubborn to see it yet. Then I'll keep showing them. She kissed him softly. Until they believe. He held her as her healing finished, as exhaustion dragged her toward sleep. Through the bond, she felt his love like a blanket, warm and safe and absolute. Whatever the next trials are, he murmured against her hair, I'll be there, supporting you, believing in you, even if I can't help directly. That's all I need, she whispered. And for tonight, in his arms, it was enough. Chapter 7. 3 days later, Kaia stood at the edge of Nightshade's eastern forest, waiting for the second trial to begin. Her ribs had healed completely, but the memory of that fight lingered, both the pain and the triumph. Wolves who'd watched her defeat Garrett now nodded when she passed. It wasn't friendship, but it was progress. Second trial, Alpha Reeve announced, addressing the smaller crowd that had gathered. Cunning. The ability to think, to plan, to outsmart your enemies. He gestured to the forest. Somewhere in these woods, we've hidden an object. A silver pendant shaped like a crescent moon. You have until dawn to find it. That's it, Kaia asked. Just find a pendant. Just. Reeve's smile was sharp. Except the forest spans 50 square miles. And you'll be hunted. Her stomach dropped. Hunted. By volunteers from the pack. 20 wolves who will track you through the night. If they catch you before you find the pendant, you fail. Find the pendant and return it here before dawn without being caught, you pass. That's impossible, Damon protested. 20 against 1? In unfamiliar territory. If she's going to be Luna, she needs to know our lands. Needs to think like Nightshade. Reeve's eyes glittered. Or is this trial too difficult? Should we lower our standards? It was another test. Not just of Kaia, but of Damon's faith in her. I can do it, Kaia said firmly. When do I start? Now. Reeve pulled out a timepiece. You have a 30-minute head start. After that, the hunters are released. Dawn is in 10 hours. The pendant is hidden somewhere in the eastern quadrant. But beyond that, you're on your own. Kaia looked at Damon, seeing his worry through the bond. I'll be careful, she sent. Use the bond. If you need me, call, and I'll come, trial or no trial. I know. She kissed him quickly, aware of the watching pack. But I've got this. Trust me. Time starts now, Reeve said. Kaia ran. She hit the tree line at full sprint, shifting mid-stride to wolf form. For legs were faster in forest terrain, and she'd need every advantage. The eastern quadrant was still enormous. At least 12 square miles of dense wilderness. She had to think. Where would Nightshade hide something important? Somewhere meaningful to the pack. Somewhere that tested knowledge as much as searching ability. Through the bond, she felt Damon's presence. Distant but constant, a compass pointing home. She sent out a gentle probe. Tell me about the eastern forest. What's significant there? That's cheating, he sent back, but she felt his amusement. That's strategy. Reeve said I needed to think like Nightshade. So tell me, what matters in the east? A pause. Then, the old watchtower, where my grandfather proposed to my grandmother before he met Elena. It's sacred ground. If I were hiding something important, I'd hide it there. Where is it? 3 miles northeast, near the ridge. But Kaia, it's exposed. Open. If the hunters catch you there, then I better not get caught. She changed direction, angling northeast. Her wolf form ate ground quickly, but she forced herself to slow down, conserving energy. This was a marathon, not a sprint. 20 minutes into her head start, she heard the first howls behind her. The hunters had been released early. Of course they had. Nightshade didn't play fair. Kaia pushed faster, using every trick her father had taught her about evading pursuit. Doubling back to cross her own scent trail, running through water to mask her path, using dense undergrowth to hide her tracks. But 20 wolves were hard to lose. She felt them spreading out, forming a net designed to funnel her toward dead ends. Smart, coordinated, exactly what she'd expected from Nightshade hunters. The watchtower appeared through the trees, old stone, half collapsed, covered in ivy and thyme. Kaia shifted to human form and climbed, ignoring the way ancient stones crumbled beneath her hands. At the top, she searched frantically. Nothing. No pendant. No hiding spots. No. Wait. She looked up. Carved into the tower's highest remaining stone was a symbol she'd seen in the cave at Vale Falls. The binding mark. And beside it, barely visible, an arrow pointing north. Clever, she thought. They're not just testing if I can find it. They're testing if I understand what I'm looking at. The hunters were close now. She could smell them, hear them circling the tower. She had maybe 2 minutes before they arrived. Kaia climbed down carefully and ran north. Not random north. Following a line of old stones partially hidden by undergrowth. Markers. A trail visible only if you knew what to look for. Behind her, wolves poured around the watchtower, realizing she'd already found the clue and moved on. Their frustrated howls echoed through the forest. The markers led to a ravine, steep and dangerous, with a creek cutting through the bottom. Kaia scrambled down, her human form more agile on the treacherous slope. At the bottom, tucked beneath an overhang where water had carved away stone, she found it. The silver pendant, crescent moon, gleaming in the pre-dawn darkness. She grabbed it, triumph flooding through her. A wolf landed behind her. Then another. 3 more appeared at the ravine's edges, cutting off escape. Got you, one said, shifting to human form. It was Lyra, the warrior she'd fought in the arena. Nice try, Silvermoon, but you're caught. Trial over. Not caught yet. Kaia backed toward the creek, pendant clutched tight. I haven't yielded. 5 against 1. You're outnumbered. Story of my life lately. Kaia grinned, wild and reckless. Want to know the difference between Silvermoon and Nightshade training? What? Silvermoon teaches you to win. Nightshade teaches you to survive. She shifted to wolf form and dove into the creek. The water was freezing and fast, pulling her downstream. She heard the hunters shift and follow, but the current worked in her favor. She let it carry her away from them, swimming only enough to keep her head above water, conserving strength. A waterfall loomed ahead, small, maybe 15 feet, but enough to be dangerous. Kaia shifted to human, took a deep breath, and went over. The landing knocked the air from her lungs. She surfaced gasping, pendant still gripped in her hand. Behind her, the hunters hesitated at the waterfall's edge. They could follow, but they'd be just as battered. Kaia didn't wait to see what they chose. She climbed out of the creek and ran, soaked, freezing, exhausted, but still moving. The pack compound was 2 miles west. She could make it. The sky was lightening, dawn approaching fast. She pushed her wolf to the limit, ignoring burning muscles and screaming lungs. Through the bond, she felt Damon's frantic worry. Almost there, she sent. Almost. 3 hunters appeared ahead, cutting off her path. More behind. They'd anticipated her route and set a final trap. Nowhere to run, Silvermoon, Garrett said, respect in his tone. You did well. Better than most. But the trial's over. Kaia looked at the hunters surrounding her, at the sky growing lighter by the second, at the pendant in her hand that represented everything she was trying to prove. I'm not caught, she said, until I yield or until someone takes this pendant from my hand. She held it up. Who wants to try? They charged. Kaia didn't fight to win. She fought to delay. Dodging, weaving, using every dirty trick and desperate move she'd ever learned. She took hits, dealt them, kept moving, kept the pendant safe. The sun broke the horizon. Dawn. Stop. Alpha Reeves' voice boomed through the forest. The hunters froze mid-strike. Dawn has arrived. Everyone turned to look at Kaia, battered, bleeding, but standing, with the pendant still clutched in her fist. She never yielded, Reeves said slowly. Never dropped the pendant. And she made it to Dawn. He walked forward, studying her with new eyes. Trial of cunning passed. By the narrowest margin I've ever seen, but passed nonetheless. Kaia's legs gave out. She collapsed to her knees, pendant hitting the ground beside her, exhaustion crashing over her like a wave. Through the bond, she felt Damon racing toward her location. Garrett offered his hand, helping her up. That waterfall trick was brilliant. Insane, but brilliant. Learned it from Silvermoon scouts, she gasped. Sometimes the best strategy is the one nobody expects. Nightshade could learn from that. He smiled, genuine this time. You're tougher than you look, Luna. Damon burst through the tree line, eyes wild, and pulled her into his arms despite the watching hunters. Don't ever scare me like that again, he said into her hair. One more trial, she reminded him. Loyalty. Whatever that means. It means, Alpha Reeve said, approaching with Sarah at his side. You'll face your greatest test yet. Not of body or mind, but of heart. His expression was grave. Tomorrow night. The final trial. Be ready. They left her with that ominous warning. And Kaia couldn't shake the feeling that whatever came next would be harder than any fight or hunt. The next evening, Kaia stood in Nightshade's council chamber, facing Alpha Reeve across that scarred wooden table. But this time, the room was empty except for them. No witnesses, no crowd, no Damon. Where is everyone? She asked. The trial of loyalty is private, Reeve said. Between Alpha and potential pack member. No one else can help you with this one. Dread settled in her stomach. What do I have to do? Reeve pulled out a phone and set it on the table. Call your father. Tell him you're staying with Nightshade permanently. That you're renouncing Silvermoon. That you choose Damon's pack over the one you were born into. Kaia's blood turned to ice. That's not fair. You're asking me to prove your loyalty. To show that Nightshade isn't just where you're mated. It's where you belong. His eyes were hard. If you can't choose us over them, you'll always be divided. Always torn. Aluna must be fully committed. My father will be hurt. Angry. Perhaps he'll disown you. But if you're truly loyal to this pack, to my son, then Silvermoon must become your past. Not your present. You're asking me to break my father's heart. I'm asking you to show me that your mate bond matters more than your birth pack. That you're willing to sacrifice for Damon the way he's sacrificed for you. Reeve pushed the phone closer. Make the call. Or fail the trial and return to Silvermoon. Your choice. Kaia stared at the phone like it was a weapon. Everything in her rebelled against this. Her father had raised her, trained her, loved her. She'd already hurt him once by mating across enemy lines. This would destroy him. But if she failed this trial, she'd be sent back to Silvermoon. Separated from Damon. Their mate bond would torture them both with distance. And more, she'd prove Reeve right. That she couldn't fully commit. That she'd always be Silvermoon first, Nightshade second. Damon. She reached through the bond. Where are you? Locked out of the council chamber. Father's orders. What's happening? Your emotions are all over the place. He wants me to renounce Silvermoon. To call my father and tell him I'm choosing Nightshade permanently. Silence through the bond. Then gods. Kaia, you don't have to. We can leave, both of us. And prove him right. Prove I'm not strong enough to make hard choices. This isn't about strength. It's about cruelty. He's testing you with something impossible. Or testing me with something necessary. She looked at Reeve's impassive face. If I'm going to be Luna, I need to be fully committed. Not divided. He's right about that. But your father will understand. Eventually. Or he won't. But I made my choice when I marked you. When I claimed you as mine. Everything else is just making it official. She picked up the phone. Wait, Reeve said. Before you call, know this. I lost my mother when I was young. Watched my father grieve himself into an early grave. I know what it means to choose between love and family. His voice softened slightly. I'm not doing this to be cruel, Kaia. I'm doing it because a pack needs a Luna who won't hesitate. Won't second guess. Who knows beyond doubt where she belongs. I understand, she said quietly. And she did. She dialed her father's number. He answered on the second ring. Kaia, are you all right? We heard about the trials. I'm fine, Dad. Better than fine. She forced strength into her voice. I passed the first 2 trials. But there's something I need to tell you. What is it? I'm staying with Nightshade. Permanently. I'm not coming back to Silvermoon. The words felt like knives leaving her mouth. I'm choosing Damon's pack as my home. Renouncing my birth pack claim. Silence. So complete she thought the call had dropped. Dad, you're renouncing Silvermoon. His voice was hollow. Your pack. Your family. Everything you were raised to be. I'm following my mate bond. Becoming who I'm meant to be. Tears burned her eyes. You taught me to be loyal. To honor commitments. My commitment is to Damon now. To the life we're building. I thought. His voice broke. I thought we could make this work. You'd split time between packs, bridge both worlds. But you're choosing them. Over me. Over your home. I'm choosing my future. And I'm asking you to understand, even if you can't accept it right away. After everything I've done for you. Everything I've sacrificed. Anger bled into his pain. I let you keep that mate bond. Accepted peace with Nightshade. And this is how you repay me. This isn't about repayment, Dad. It's about betrayal. That's what it's about. His words cut deep. First you made the enemy. Now you abandon your blood. Your pack. Your father. I'm not abandoning you. You just did. The line went dead. Kaia stood frozen. Phone still pressed to her ear. Tears streaming down her face. Through the bond, Damon's anguish mixed with hers. He'd felt every word, every knife of pain. Trial of loyalty, Reeve said quietly, passed. You chose your mate bond over your birth family. Proved your commitment to Nightshade. He stood, moving around the table to face her. I know that cost you. I know what you just sacrificed. And for what it's worth, your father will come around. Eventually. When he sees you happy, building a life here, he'll understand. And if he doesn't, then he's a fool. Because you just proved you have the strength to be Luna. Reeve placed a hand on her shoulder. The first time he'd touched her with anything resembling paternal warmth. Welcome to Nightshade, Kaia. Truly. Fully. Your pack now. She should feel triumph. She'd passed all 3 trials. Earned her place. Proven herself worthy. Instead, she just felt hollow. The council chamber door burst open. Damon rushed in, pulling her into his arms. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry you had to do that. It was necessary, she said against his chest, even as she shattered inside. It was cruel. Maybe. But it was also right. She pulled back, wiping her eyes. I made my choice, Damon. You. Us. This pack. No matter what it cost. Your father will forgive you. Maybe. She didn't believe it. Not yet. Not with the way his voice had sounded when he'd called her a betrayal. But even if he doesn't, I don't regret it. I don't regret you. Through the bond, his love wrapped around her like a blanket. Warm. Safe. Absolute. Tonight, Alpha Reeve said, we'll hold the ceremony. The pack will officially accept you as Luna-in-waiting. Tomorrow, we announce to Silver Moon that you've chosen Nightshade. That the bridge between our packs is real. And if Silver Moon sees it as betrayal? Kaia asked. If they think I'm choosing sides in the peace? Then we prove them wrong. Damon's eyes blazed with determination. We show both packs that unity doesn't mean erasing where you came from. It means building something new. Idealistic, Reeve said. But not wrong. He headed for the door, then paused. Kaia, your grandmother would be proud. You did what she and Thomas couldn't. Chose your mate completely, without reservation. That takes courage I'm not sure I'd possess. He left them alone in the council chamber. Kaia leaned into Damon, feeling the weight of everything she'd just done settling on her shoulders. I broke his heart, she whispered. You chose yours, Damon countered. And when the hurt fades, he'll see that you didn't betray him. You just grew up, chose your own path. I hope you're right. I'm always right. He kissed her forehead. Except when you're right, which is more often than I admit. She laughed, weak but real. I love you, even when you're impossible. Especially when I'm impossible. He tilted her chin up. Tonight you become Luna-in-waiting. Tomorrow we bridge 2 packs that have hated each other for centuries. But right now we just be together. And let that be enough. It was. Barely. But enough. Because she'd passed the trials. Earned her place. Chosen her future. And if the cost was her father's love, if the price was breaking the heart of the man who'd raised her, well, that's what it meant to be Luna. To make impossible choices and live with the consequences. Chapter 8. The ceremony took place under a full moon that painted Nightshade territory in silver light. Every pack member gathered in the central clearing. Hundreds of wolves forming concentric circles around a raised platform where Alpha Reeve stood with Damon at his side. Kaia waited at the circle's edge, dressed in traditional ceremonial robes. Deep midnight blue threaded with silver, the colors of Nightshade. Sarah had helped her prepare, brushing out her hair and explaining what would happen. You'll walk the gauntlet, Sarah said, adjusting the robe's collar. Every pack member will judge you as you pass. If even one rejects you, the ceremony fails. 1. Kaia's stomach churned. Out of hundreds, Luna must be accepted by all. No exceptions. Sarah's expression softened. But you've earned their respect. You fought Garrett to a standstill. You outwitted 20 hunters. You chose us over everything you knew. They'll accept you. And if they don't, then you and Damon will have some difficult choices to make. Sarah squeezed her shoulder. But I don't think it will come to that. You're stronger than you know, Kaia Thornwood. Kaia Nightshade, she corrected quietly. If this works, if they accept me, when they accept you. Sarah smiled. Now go. Your mate is waiting. Kaia stepped into the clearing. Every eye turned to her, assessing, judging, remembering. She'd fought some of these wolves, been hunted by others, proven herself to a few and remained suspect to many. The gauntlet began. She walked slowly between the packed lines of wolves, feeling their gazes like physical weight. Some nodded as she passed, Garrett, Lyra, the warriors who'd tested her. Others remained stone-faced, reserving judgment. Halfway through, an elder stepped forward. You renounced Silvermoon, he said, voice carrying across the clearing. But can you truly let go of what you were? Or will you always be Thornwood first, Nightshade second? It was a challenge, a test within the ceremony itself. Kaia stopped, meeting his eyes directly. I'll always be Marcus Thornwood's daughter. That's blood. That's history. But I choose to be Damon Nightshade's mate. That's future. That's fate. She addressed the entire gathering. I'm not asking you to forget where I came from. I'm asking you to accept where I'm going. With your pack. With your future alpha. Building a bridge between two worlds that have been separate too long. Silence. Then the elder smiled, grudging but real. Well said, young Luna. He stepped back, allowing her to continue. The rest of the gauntlet passed without incident. When Kaia reached the platform, Damon extended his hand, pulling her up beside him. Through their bond, his pride and love flooded her senses. You're incredible, he sent. Have I mentioned that lately? Not in the last hour, she answered, fighting a smile. Alpha Reeve raised his hands, and the gathered wolves fell silent. Kaia Thornwood came to us as an outsider. As Silvermoon born and raised. As the daughter of our enemy's beta. His voice rang out clear and strong. She has passed our trials. Proven her strength, her cunning, and her loyalty. She has chosen our pack over her birth family. Chosen my son as her mate and her future. He turned to Kaia. Do you, Kaia Thornwood, swear to serve Nightshade? To protect our pack with your life? To honor our traditions and uphold our laws? To stand beside Damon as his equal, his partner, his Luna? I do. Her voice didn't waver. Do you forsake Silvermoon? Release all claims to their territory, their leadership, their bloodline. This hurt, but she'd made her choice. I do. Then by my authority as Alpha of Nightshade, I name you Kaia Nightshade. Luna in waiting. Mate to my son. Member of this pack from this day until your last. He pulled out a silver pendant, different from the one she'd hunted for, this one bearing Nightshade's crest. Wear this as symbol of your commitment. Your place among us. Your home. He fastened it around her neck, and the gathered wolves erupted in howls. Some celebratory, others accepting, all of them acknowledging her new status. Damon pulled her into his arms, kissing her in front of the entire pack. Mine, he murmured against her lips. Finally, officially, undeniably mine. Yours, she agreed. Always. But even as the pack celebrated, even as wolves approached to congratulate her and welcome her officially, Kaia felt a hollow ache where her father's approval should have been. She'd gained a pack, but lost a parent. Won acceptance, but sacrificed family. He'll come around, Damon sent, feeling her pain through the bond. Maybe, she answered. But right now, I need to believe this was worth it. It was. You are. We are. She held on to that certainty as the ceremony continued into celebration. Held on to Damon's hand and the pack's acceptance and the hope that someday, somehow, her father would understand. 2 weeks passed in careful peace. Kaia settled into life at Nightshade, learning their rhythms, their traditions, their ways. She trained with their warriors, learning techniques Silvermoon had never taught. She studied pack law under Sarah's guidance, preparing for the day she'd be Luna in truth, not just title. And she missed her father with an ache that never quite faded. Damon spent equal time at Silvermoon, building bridges with Marcus's pack, proving that unity could work. The two alphas met weekly to discuss territory sharing, joint patrols, merged resources. It was slow, awkward progress, but progress nonetheless. Until the night, everything fell apart. Kaia woke to shouting. She bolted upright in Damon's bed, reaching for him through the bond. He was already gone, pulled away by some emergency. She dressed quickly and ran outside to chaos. "What's happening?" she demanded, catching Sarah's arm. "Border incident. Silvermoon and Nightshade wolves clashed at the western marker. 3 injured, 1 critical." Sarah's face was grim. "Both alphas are heading there now. It's bad, Kaia. Really bad." Her blood turned to ice. This was what Morgana had warned about. That breaking the curse didn't erase centuries of instinct. That one wrong move could reignite everything they'd tried to prevent. She shifted and ran, racing toward the western border. Through the bond, she felt Damon's fury and fear mixing. Felt him trying to calm the situation while his own wolf howled for violence. She arrived to a nightmare. 8 wolves faced off across the boundary line. 4 Nightshade for Silvermoon. Blood stained the ground. A Nightshade warrior lay unconscious, his side torn open. And in the center of it all stood her father and Alpha Reeve, both in defensive postures, both seconds from shifting. "Stand down." Damon's voice cracked like a whip. "All of you, stand down now." "They attacked first," a Nightshade warrior snarled. "Crossed into our territory without permission. We were chasing a deer that fled from Silvermoon lands." A Silvermoon scout protested. "We didn't know we'd crossed the line." "Liar. You came looking for a fight." "Enough." Kaia's wolf voice silenced them all. She shifted to human form, standing between the 2 groups. "What happened to peace? What happened to unity?" "Peace doesn't erase boundaries," her father said coldly. His eyes found hers, and the hurt there cut deep. "Or maybe that's something you've forgotten, daughter, now that you've chosen their side. I chose a future without this." She gestured at the blood, the injured, the hatred building again. "I chose a world where Silvermoon and Nightshade don't kill each other over misunderstandings." "This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was trespass. This was an accident," Alpha Reeve interrupted. "If we're being honest, Marcus, your scouts chased prey across the line without realizing. My warriors overreacted. Both sides made mistakes. Your warrior nearly killed mine. And yours drew first blood." A Nightshade wolf stepped forward, hackles raised. "We should finish this. Show them what happens when Silvermoon crosses into our territory." "Try it," a Silvermoon warrior growled back. "We'll paint this forest with Nightshade blood." The situation spiraled. Wolves on both sides shifted, preparing to fight. The alphas struggled to maintain control. And Kaia felt the moment slipping away. Felt 300 years of hatred pressing back against 2 weeks of fragile peace. "Help me," she sent to Damon. "We're losing them." "I know. What do we do?" Something dramatic. Something neither pack can ignore. She met Damon's eyes across the clearing, and through the bond, they shared the same reckless idea. It was insane. Dangerous. Might get them both killed. But it might also work. Kaia walked to the center of the boundary line, directly between the 2 packs, standing where their territories met. Damon joined her, taking her hand. "You want blood?" Kaia called out to both sides. "You want to prove which pack is stronger? Which is right? Which deserves to win this endless war?" "Yes," several wolves shouted. "Then go through us first." Damon's voice rang with alpha authority. "Because we're not moving. We're standing right here on this line between you. If you want to fight, you'll have to kill us to do it." Shocked silence. "You're bluffing," someone said. "Try us." Kaia's eyes blazed. "I'm Silvermoon born and Nightshade claimed. I'm both and neither. And I'm not letting either pack destroy what we've built." She looked at her father. "Dad, please. Don't do this. Don't throw away peace because of pride and old instincts. They hurt our wolves. Accidentally. You know it was an accident. Just like you know that if fighting starts now, it won't stop. It'll spread. It'll consume both packs. And for what? For a boundary line drawn by a dead witch's curse." Marcus's jaw worked. "You stand with them. Against your own blood. I stand between them. Between both bloods. Because that's what a bridge does." Tears burned her eyes. "And I'm asking you, begging you, to be brave enough to step back from this edge. To choose peace even when anger feels righteous." "Alpha Marcus," Alpha Reeve said quietly. "She's right. If we fight now, we prove Morgana won after all. That her curse outlasted her. That we're still puppets, just dancing to old strings. Your warrior nearly killed mine. And I will punish him for overreacting. just as you'll punish your scouts for trespassing without care. Reeve extended his hand. Or we can let blood answer blood and waste everything our children sacrificed to give us. The moment stretched. Every wolf watching. Every breath held. Marcus looked at Kaia, his daughter, standing with the enemy, choosing peace over loyalty. The betrayal in his eyes was a knife to her heart. Then slowly he took Reeve's hand. Peace, he said roughly. But this is your last chance, Nightshade. One more incident, and there won't be negotiations. There'll be war. Understood, Reeve said. Same applies to Silvermoon. The wolves dispersed slowly, tension still thick but violence averted. The injured were carried off for healing. The scouts were disciplined. The crisis passed. But when Kaia tried to approach her father, he turned away. Dad, wait. You made your choice, he said without looking at her. You stood with them. Not us. Not your blood. Them. His voice broke. Elena stood between packs too. And it killed her. I won't watch you die the same way. He shifted and ran, disappearing into Silvermoon territory. Several wolves followed, casting dark looks at Kaia as they left. She stood frozen, feeling like her chest had been carved open. Through the bond, Damon's anguish mixed with hers. He'll understand, Sarah said gently, appearing at her side. Eventually, when the hurt fades. And if it doesn't, then he's choosing hate over love. And that's on him, not you. But it didn't feel that way. It felt like loss. Like sacrifice. Like the price of peace was higher than she'd ever imagined. Chapter 9. 3 days after the border incident, Kaia woke to an empty bed. Damon's side was cold. He'd been gone for hours. She reached through the bond and found him at the Silvermoon border, meeting with her father and other pack leaders to negotiate new boundary protocols. She was about to go back to sleep when she felt it, a wrongness. A disturbance in the pack bonds that connected all Nightshade wolves. Someone was in pain, frightened, calling for help. Kaia dressed quickly and followed the sensation to the eastern forest, where she found Lyra stumbling through the trees, bleeding from a head wound. Lyra! Kaia caught her before she collapsed. What happened? Ambush. Lyra's words slurred. Someone attacked me during patrol. Knocked me out. When I woke up, they were gone but... She pressed something into Kaia's hand. I found this. Dropped near where they'd been standing. It was a piece of cloth, Silvermoon colors. Silvermoon scent. Kaia's blood ran cold. Where did this happen? Deep in Nightshade territory. Miles from the border. Lyra's eyes focused with effort. They wanted me to find it. Wanted it to look like Silvermoon attacked. It's a setup, Kaia. Someone's trying to restart the war. Who? Why? I don't know. But they knew the patrol routes. Knew where I'd be. It had to be someone from Nightshade. Lyra gripped Kaia's arm. You can't tell the pack yet. If they find out Silvermoon colors were left at the attack site, they'll assume the worst. They'll attack before asking questions. But we need to investigate. We will. You and me. Quietly. Lyra struggled to stand. Please. I didn't survive the trials and earn your respect just to watch everything fall apart because someone wants war more than peace. Kaia helped Lyra back to the healing den, making excuses about a training accident. Then she reached through the bond to Damon. We have a problem. Someone attacked Lyra and planted evidence to make it look like Silvermoon. His shock rippled through their connection. What? Who would? Someone who doesn't want peace. Someone in Nightshade with access to patrol routes. She sent him images of the cloth, the attack site. We need to investigate before the pack finds out and demands retaliation. I'm coming back. Don't do anything dangerous until I get there. Define dangerous, she sent, already planning her next move. Kaia, I'll be careful. I promise. She cut the connection before he could argue and headed back to the attack site. In daylight, she could see details Lyra had missed. Broken branches suggesting a struggle, blood trails showing where Lyra had been dragged, and most importantly, a scent beneath the Silvermoon cloth. Nightshade. Male. Familiar. Kaia followed the scent trail through the forest, her wolf alert for danger. It led to an abandoned den near the territory's edge, a place she'd been warned to avoid during her trials. Old pack headquarters, Sarah had said. Before we moved central, no one goes there anymore. Except someone had. Recently, Kaia shifted to wolf form and crept closer, using undergrowth for cover. Voices drifted from the den's entrance. Multiple wolves in heated conversation. Was sloppy. She survived. Doesn't matter. The evidence is planted. Once word spreads that Silvermoon attacked a Nightshade warrior on our land, the pack will demand war. And if they don't, then we stage another incident. And another. Until even Reeve can't hold them back. Kaia's blood boiled. She edged closer, trying to see who was speaking. The alpha's gone soft. His son's even worse, mating that Silvermoon bitch. The voice dripped contempt. They've forgotten what Silvermoon did to us. Forgotten the blood debt we're owed. Peace makes us weak, another voice agreed. We were stronger when we had an enemy. When we had purpose. So we give them purpose again. We remind them what Silvermoon really is. Murderers who killed our ancestors and now infiltrate our pack through that traitor Luna. Kaia shifted to human form, rage overriding caution. She burst into the den, claws extended. Say that again. 5 wolves spun to face her, all Nightshade, all warriors she'd trained with. The one speaking was Marcus's second cousin, a wolf named Garrett who'd lost family in the massacre 30 years ago. Luna. He didn't sound surprised. Come to defend your blood family? Come to stop you from destroying everything we've built. Her eyes swept the group. You attacked Lyra. You're the ones trying to restart the war. We're trying to remind Nightshade who they are. Another wolf, Jenna, a young warrior, stepped forward. Your father's pack killed ours for generations. They don't deserve peace. They deserve justice. Justice or revenge? They're the same thing. No, they're not. Kaia kept her voice level despite the fury coursing through her. Justice would be acknowledging that Morgana manipulated both packs. Revenge is perpetuating her curse even after she's dead. Pretty words from a traitor. Garrett's eyes flashed gold. You gave up Silvermoon to join us, but you're still protecting them. Still choosing them over your own pack. I'm choosing truth over lies. Peace over endless bloodshed. She held up the Silvermoon cloth. You planted this. Tried to frame my father's pack for attacking Lyra. You're the traitors, not me. We're patriots. Protecting Nightshade from those too weak to remember the past. The past was a lie. Kaia's wolf surged forward. Everything you think you're fighting for, everything you think you're protecting, it's all built on Morgana's curse. On manufactured hatred. Can't you see that? We see a Luna who's forgotten which pack she serves. Jenna shifted to wolf form, and the others followed. Maybe we should remind you. Forcefully. 5 against 1. In an abandoned den where no one would hear her scream. Even with her training, even with the trials she'd passed, these were seasoned warriors united in purpose. Kaia backed toward the den entrance, assessing escape routes. Damon, no. Tears streamed down her face. I can't lose you. Not after everything we've been through. Not after fighting so hard to be together. And I can't watch you sacrifice yourself either. He cupped her face in his hands. But one of us has to. We knew from the beginning that love across bloodlines would cost us everything. We just didn't know how much. They held each other in the cave, the weight of the choice crushing them both. Through the bond, their hearts beat as one, synchronized, perfect whole. The thought of severing that connection, even temporarily, felt like death. 5 days, Kaia whispered. We have 5 days to say goodbye. Or 5 days to find another way. You don't believe there is another way. No, he admitted. But I'll spend every moment trying anyway. They told the alphas that night. Both packs gathered at the split stone, listening in horrified silence as Kaia and Damon explained the Guardian's warning. The failsafe curse. The impossible choice. There must be something we can do, Marcus said desperately. Some way to fight this magic. We've consulted every elder, every wolf with magical knowledge, Sarah said grimly. The Guardian spoke true. Ancient magic like this can't be destroyed, only redirected. Then we evacuate, Alpha Reeve declared. Both packs. We leave the territories, go somewhere the curse can't reach. It will follow, an elder explained. The curse is tied to the bloodlines, not the land. Wherever Silvermoon and Nightshade gather, the backlash will strike. So we separate, someone suggested. Go back to hating each other. Break the unity that's feeding the curse. Too late for that, the elder said. The damage is done. The magical backlash is already building. In 5 days it erupts, whether the packs are united or not. Wolves erupted in panic. Suggestions flew. Fight the magic, make a counterspell, sacrifice something else. But every option hit the same wall. The curse demanded what it demanded. 1 mate or hundreds of wolves. I'll do it, Kaia said, silencing the chaos. I'll enter the stasis. Save both packs. No. Damon's voice was absolute. It should be me. I'm the one who pursued you, Who pulled you into this? Let me pay the price. You're the future Alpha. Nightshade needs you. And Silvermoon needs you. You're the bridge between our packs. They were actually arguing about which of them got to sacrifice themselves. The absurdity would have been funny if it wasn't so heartbreaking. Stop, Marcus said quietly. Both young wolves fell silent. This isn't a decision that should be made in panic. Take the time you have left. Be together. When the full moon rises, one of you will make the choice. Until then, his voice cracked. Until then, don't waste a moment. The gathering dispersed slowly, wolves from both packs in tears. Even those who'd initially opposed the mating felt the tragedy of it. Two souls who'd fought so hard to be together, now facing eternal separation. Kaia and Damon spent the next 4 days inseparable. They walked both territories, memorizing every tree and stream. They trained with the packs, fighting side by side one last time. They visited the places that mattered. The split stone where they'd met, the arena where Kaia had proven herself, the Veil Falls where they'd discovered the truth. And at night, they held each other, the mate bond singing between them with bittersweet intensity. I have an idea, Kaia said on the 4th night, lying in Damon's arms. What if we both go into stasis? Together. The curse feeds on our bond. If we're both suspended, neither aging, neither dying, maybe someday someone figures out how to wake us. That's essentially suicide, Damon said. We'd be frozen while the world moves on without us. But we'd be together. And there'd be hope, however small, that we'd wake up someday. Or we'd be trapped forever, aware but unable to move, watching each other suffer for eternity. He tightened his arms around her. I won't do that to you. Won't risk that horror. Then what? We just accept that one of us lives while the other is trapped. We accept that love sometimes requires the ultimate sacrifice. He kissed her forehead. And we trust that when the moment comes, we'll know what to do. The 5th day arrived too quickly. As sunset approached, both packs gathered at Veil Falls. The air thrummed with building magic, dark and hungry, waiting to be fed. The full moon would rise in less than an hour. The guardian appeared, manifesting from the waterfall's mist. Have you made your choice? Kaia and Damon stood hand in hand, neither speaking. Through the bond, they shared everything: love, fear, desperate hope, crushing inevitability. They'd spent 4 days trying to decide, and still had no answer. I'll do it, Kaia said finally. No, I will, Damon countered. This is my choice to make. Like hell it is. Enough. The guardian's voice cut through their argument. You cannot both choose. And you cannot choose for each other. The magic requires willing sacrifice. Whoever enters stasis must do so of their own free will, accepting the consequences. Then we're at an impasse, Kaia said. Because I won't let him sacrifice himself, and he won't let me. Then both packs die. The guardian gestured to the gathering wolves. Fathers and mothers. Children. Elders. All of them burn because you two are too stubborn to make the hard choice. There has to be another way. There isn't. The guardian's form began to fade. You have until the moon reaches its zenith. After that, the decision is made for you. The curse takes you both and everyone dies. Choose wisely. She vanished, leaving them with impossible weight. The moon rose, huge and silver, climbing slowly toward its peak. Magic crackled in the air. Wolves shifted nervously, feeling the building pressure. I should have seen this coming, Marcus said bitterly. Should have known love across bloodlines would end in tragedy. Just like it did for Elena and Thomas. They didn't complete their bond, Sarah corrected gently. They never got the chance to face this choice. Kaia and Damon did. They broke the surface curse. Gave us this peace, however brief. Small comfort when we're about to lose one of them. Kaia looked at the assembled packs. Hundreds of wolves, all watching her and Damon with varying expressions of grief, gratitude, and guilt. These were the lives they'd fought for. The peace they'd built. The future they'd dreamed of. And it was about to cost them everything. I love you, she sent through the bond. Whatever happens, know that I love you more than life itself. I know, Damon answered. And I love you the same. Which is why I can't let you. An idea struck her. Desperate. Possibly insane. But maybe, just maybe, worth trying. What if we're asking the wrong question? She said aloud. Everyone turned to look at her. The curse wants sacrifice. Wants one mate to enter stasis to save the packs. But what if? She gripped Damon's hand tighter. What if the sacrifice isn't about separation? What if it's about something else? I don't understand, Alpha Reeve said. The mate bond is what's triggering the backlash. The Guardian said it's too powerful, too pure. It draws dark magic like a beacon. Kaia's mind raced. But what if we don't try to diminish it? What if we amplify it instead? That would make the backlash worse, an elder protested. Or it would burn through all the curse's remaining power at once. Kaia looked at Damon. Complete the bond fully. Not just marking and mating, but soul binding. The deepest level. It's supposed to be so powerful that mates literally become one being, sharing life force, sharing souls. That's legend, Sarah said. No one successfully performed a soul binding in centuries. It requires perfect trust, perfect love, perfect unity. Damon's eyes lit with understanding, and the willingness to give up individual existence. To become we instead of I and you. It could kill you both, Marcus warned. The soul binding either succeeds completely or destroys both mates in the attempt. So our choices are, one of us enters eternal stasis or we risk dying together. Kaia smiled, reckless and bright. I'll take option 2. Kaia, think about it, Dad. The curse wants separation, wants to use our bond to hurt us. But if we become one soul, one being, there's nothing to separate, nothing to use as fuel. She turned to the Guardian's empty space. I'm right, aren't I? That's the loophole you didn't mention. The impossible option. The Guardian materialized, and for the first time, something like approval flickered in her ancient eyes. Soul binding would indeed neutralize the backlash. If successful, your unified soul would be too stable to feed dark magic. But the risk is worth it, Damon finished. We're doing this. You have perhaps 20 minutes before the moon reaches zenith. The Guardian gestured to the pool. The ritual must be performed in the heart of the binding. Both mates must submerge completely, holding breath until your souls merge or your bodies fail. If you emerge as one being, the curse breaks. If you drown, she shrugged, at least the packs survive. Comforting, Kaia muttered. They approached the pool together, hands linked. Both packs pressed closer, watching with bated breath. Wait, Marcus stepped forward. Kaia, if this works, if you succeed, will you still be you? Will I still have my daughter? I don't know, Dad. She hugged him fiercely. But whoever I become, I'll carry your love with me. Always. Alpha Reeve embraced Damon. You've been a good son. A great future Alpha. Whatever happens, I'm proud. Thank you, Father. Sarah approached with something wrapped in cloth. Your grandmother's journal. Elena's final entry. The one that was torn out. We found it in Thomas's effects. She handed it to Kaia. Read it. Quickly. Kaia unfolded the page, reading Elena's elegant script. If you're reading this, dear child, then you've faced the impossible choice. The failsafe curse. The price of love across bloodlines. Thomas and I knew it existed, but were too afraid to face it. Too weak to attempt what you must. Soul binding. The ancient way. The first wolves used it to join packs, create unity from division. It requires total surrender, giving up I to become we. Terrifying, but also transcendent. Trust the bond. Trust each other. And know that whoever you become, together, will be stronger than you ever were apart. We love you. We're sorry we weren't brave enough. But we believe you are. Elena and Thomas. Tears blurred Kaia's vision. They knew. They planned for this. They had faith we'd finish what they started. Damon squeezed her hand. Ready? No. But let's do it anyway. They stepped into the pool together. The water was warm, alive, thrumming with magic. They waded to the center, where it was deep enough to submerge completely. I love you, Kaia said one last time. I love you, Damon answered. Let's become us. They dove. The water closed over their heads, and instantly Kaia felt the pull. Not drowning, but merging. The mate bond, which had connected them like a thread, now pulled them together like gravity. She felt Damon's soul pressing against hers, felt the boundaries between them dissolving. Trust, she reminded herself. Surrender. Become we. She let go of being Kaia Thornwood. Let go of being Kaia Nightshade. Let go of being Kaia at all. Damon did the same, releasing Damon Nightshade, releasing individual identity, reaching for something greater. Their souls collided. For a moment, there was nothing but pain. The agony of self unraveling, identity dissolving, everything that made them individuals being stripped away. Kaia wanted to scream, wanted to fight back, wanted to hold on to herself. But she felt Damon there, in the pain with her. Felt his love like an anchor. And she remembered, this wasn't death. This was transformation. She surrendered completely. The pain vanished. In its place, unity. Wholeness. A single consciousness made from two souls perfectly aligned. They know, not they anymore. It emerged from the pool gasping. One being with two bodies. One soul expressed through two forms. The gathered wolves stared in awe. The being that had been Kaia and Damon stood on the pool's edge. Hands still linked, but now the connection went deeper than touch. When one breathed, the other felt it. When one thought, the other knew it. They were separate and unified at once, a paradox made real. The soul binding is complete, the guardian announced, and something like wonder touched her ancient voice. I have never seen it succeed so flawlessly. You are no longer Kaia and Damon. You are Kaimon, they said in perfect unison, the name emerging from their shared consciousness. We are Kaimon. Bridge. Unity. Whole. The moon reached its zenith. Magic exploded outward. But instead of destruction, it washed over the territories like cleansing rain. The backlash, finding no separated bond to feed on, burned itself out harmlessly against their unified soul. The curse shattered. Completely. Permanently. Every layer, every failsafe, every trap Morgana had woven. All of it disintegrated against the power of two souls choosing to become one. Silence fell. Then howls. Both packs erupted in celebration, the sound echoing through the forest. Marcus approached cautiously. Kaia, are you, is she? We are, the unified being answered with Kaia's voice. Then with Damon's. Both and neither. Then together. She is here, Father. He is here too. We are both ourselves in something new. Something neither pack has seen in centuries. Can you separate? Sarah asked. Return to being two individuals? They considered, feeling the shape of their new existence. We can express separately, two bodies, two voices. But underneath we're one soul now. We'll always feel what the other feels. Know what the other knows. Be stronger together than we ever were apart. That sounds lonely, Marcus said quietly. Never being alone. Never being just you. It sounds perfect, Alpha Reeve countered. The ultimate unity. The bridge our packs needed. Kaimon smiled with both faces. It's both. Lonely and perfect. Sacrifice and gift. Loss and gain. They released joined hands, and immediately felt the soul bond stretch but not break. We gave up being I to become we. To save our packs. To break the curse. To prove love is stronger than ancient magic. And now, an elder asked, what happens to you? To the packs. Now we lead, they answered in unison. Together. As Luna and Alpha to be. As bridge and unity. We'll help both packs adjust to true peace. We'll be living proof that Silver Moon and Nightshade can be one without losing what makes them unique. You're talking about merging the packs completely, someone protested. Erasing our individual identities. No, Kaia's voice firm and clear. We're proof you can be unified without being identical. Two souls, one being. Two packs, one purpose. Different but together. Separate but whole. It won't be easy, Damon's voice added. There will be wolves who resist. Who want the old ways back. Who fear change more than they want peace. But we'll face them together, both voices concluded. As we face everything now. United. Unbreakable. Whole. The packs processed this. Some with joy, others with uncertainty. All of them awed by what they'd witnessed. As dawn broke, casting gold across both territories, Kaimon stood at the boundary line that no longer mattered. They held out their hands. One to Silver Moon, one to Nightshade, and wolves from both sides approached. Marcus gripped one hand. Alpha Reeve gripped the other. And through those connections, everyone felt it. The soul bond's power, the unified strength, the proof that love could indeed conquer ancient curses and impossible odds. To the future, Marcus said. To unity, Reeve added. To us, Kaimon finished. All of us. Together. Then we'll say Silver Moon ambushed you. That they killed you for betraying them. Garrett's wolf form was massive, his intention clear. Either way, we get our war. The only question is whether you die trying to stop it. Damon. Kaia screamed through the bond. Eastern Den, old headquarters, 5 hostiles. Pain exploded through her head as someone struck from behind. A 6th wolf she hadn't seen. The world tilted, consciousness fragmenting. Hold on. Damon's presence in her mind was frantic. I'm coming. Put her down, Garrett commanded. Make it look like Silver Moon did it. Claw marks consistent with their technique. When they find her body, Nightshade will tear Silvermoon apart. Through blurring vision, Kaia saw claws descending, felt the killing blow coming, reached desperately for anything. Power, strength, the mate bond that connected her to Damon. The bond exploded. Golden light erupted from Kaia's body, throwing her attackers back against the den walls. She felt Damon's power surge through their connection, felt his alpha authority lending her strength she'd never possessed alone. Together, his voice echoed in her mind. We're always stronger together. Kaia rose, eyes blazing gold, the mate bond visible as golden threads wrapping around her body like armor. Last chance, she said, voice echoing with dual tones, hers and Damon's combined. Stand down. Face trial for treason, or I will put you down. You're one wolf, Garrett snarled. You can't. She moved faster than thought, striking with precision learned from both packs. She took down Jenna first. Quick strike to the nerve cluster, paralysis setting in immediately. Then Marcus's cousin, claws to the shoulder, teeth to the ear, dominance display that made him submit instinctually. The others attacked together. She met them with strength borrowed from her mate, speed enhanced by their bond, power that came from love rather than hatred. When it was over, 5 wolves lay defeated, and Kaia stood above them, breathing hard but victorious. Footsteps pounded toward the den. Damon burst through the entrance with Lyra, Sarah, and a dozen Nightshade warriors at his back. He took in the scene, Kaia standing over the conspirators, golden light still flickering around her body, and pulled her into his arms. Are you hurt? I'm fine. They were planning another attack, trying to frame Silvermoon. She explained everything while the warriors secured the conspirators. Alpha Reeve arrived minutes later, face thunderous. Explain. Now. Garrett did, defiant to the end. We're doing what you're too weak to do. Avenging our ancestors. Protecting our pack from the Silvermoon threat. By attacking your own Luna? By framing innocent wolves for crimes they didn't commit. Reeve's voice could have shattered stone. You're not patriots. You're exactly what Morgana wanted. Wolves so consumed by hatred that you destroy your own pack to feed it. They killed our family. Morgana killed our family. Reeve roared. She manipulated both packs into slaughtering each other for 300 years. And you 5 idiots want to give her a posthumous victory. He turned to his warriors. Take them to holding. They'll face trial before the full pack council. The charge is treason, conspiracy, and attempted murder of Pack Luna. His eyes found Kaia. You saved the peace tonight. Exposed a conspiracy that could have destroyed everything we've built. Nightshade owes you a debt. I don't want a debt, Kaia said quietly. I want unity. Real unity. Where wolves like this can't use old hatred to tear us apart. Then let's give you that. Reeve pulled out his phone and called Alpha Marcus. We need to talk. Now. Your territory. And bring witnesses. Lots of witnesses. An hour later, both packs gathered at the Split Stone. The same place where Kaia and Damon had first met, where their grandparents had loved in secret, where peace had been tentatively born. Alpha Reeve presented the evidence. The conspirators, their confession, the Silvermoon cloth planted to frame Marcus's pack. These 5 wolves tried to restart our war. They attacked one of our own and tried to blame Silvermoon for it. Marcus's face was granite. You're saying Nightshade wolves tried to frame my pack. I'm saying 5 idiots did. And they've been arrested for it. Reeve met his eyes. This is exactly what Morgana wanted. Wolves on both sides so stuck in the past that they'll sabotage the future. And you think Silvermoon doesn't have wolves who want the same? I know you do. Reeve's voice gentled slightly. I know there are Silvermoon wolves who hate my pack as much as these 5 hate yours. But here's what I also know. Your daughter stopped this. She exposed the conspiracy before it could spread. She risked her life to protect both our packs. All eyes turned to Kaia. She stood beside Damon, still showing evidence of the fight, bloody, bruised, but standing tall. Marcus's expression cracked, just slightly. You could have been killed. I knew Damon would come, Kaia said softly. The mate bond connects us. Makes us stronger together than we could ever be apart. That's what these 5 didn't understand. That's what Morgana's curse tried to prevent. Unity makes us powerful. Division makes us weak. Pretty words. But there was less anger in Marcus's voice. More grief. She's my daughter, he continued, addressing both packs. And I've been angry at her. Hurt by her choices. Felt betrayed when she chose Nightshade over Silvermoon. He paused. But watching her tonight, seeing her risk everything to stop a conspiracy neither pack knew existed. I realized something. She didn't betray Silvermoon. She transcended it, became something neither pack has seen before. A bridge, a unity, a future. He looked at Kaia, and tears shone in his eyes. I'm sorry for pushing you away, for making you choose, for not seeing that loving Damon didn't mean abandoning me. Dad, Kaia's voice broke. Come here, pup. Marcus opened his arms, and she ran to him. His daughter again, not just Nightshade's Luna. He held her tight while both packs watched. I'm proud of you. Your grandmother would be proud of you. You finished what she started. We're not finished yet, Kaia said against his chest. There will be more wolves like those 5. More who want war over peace. Then we deal with them. Together. Both packs united. Marcus released her and extended his hand to Alpha Reeve. No more tentative peace. No more testing each other. We merge our territories. Share our resources. Become what we should have been 300 years ago. One pack. Reeve's eyebrows rose. 2 packs working as one. Silvermoon and Nightshade. Different traditions, different lands, but shared purpose. Shared future. Marcus glanced at Kaia and Damon. If our children can unite across bloodlines, why can't we? Reeve gripped his hand firmly. Agreed. We'll start with shared patrols. Joint training. Merged councils. Build trust until the boundary lines don't matter anymore. Both packs erupted. Some in cheers, others in protest, many in confused hope. But the alphas stood firm, hands clasped, while their children stood beside them. Together. Finally. Chapter 10. 2 weeks of peace followed. Real peace, not the tentative kind. Silvermoon and Nightshade wolves trained together, patrolled together, even started holding joint celebrations. The boundary line remained but felt less like a wall and more like a meeting place. Kaia split her time between both packs, serving as bridge and diplomat. Her father visited Nightshade lands for the first time in his life, breaking bread with Alpha Reeve and discussing territory management. Old wounds were healing. But Kaia couldn't shake the feeling that something was coming. A final test. A last challenge before they could truly claim victory. She was right. It started with the dreams. Every night for a week, Kaia dreamed of the cave at Vale Falls. Saw Morgana's face in the pool. Heard her whispered warning. Breaking the curse was just the beginning. The real trial comes when you have to choose. Your mate or your packs. One life or hundreds. Love or duty. On the 7th night, Kaia woke gasping. Damon was already awake beside her, eyes haunted. You had the dream too, she said. Every night this week. He pulled her close. What does it mean? I don't know, but I think we need to go back to the falls. See if there's something we missed. They told no one. Not the alphas, not their packs. Just slipped away before dawn and made their way to the cursed waterfall that had started everything. The cave looked different in daylight. Smaller, less ominous. But the pool at its center still glowed with that eerie inner light. Morgana's dead, Damon said. We killed her. Broke her curse. Why would we still be dreaming about her? Because curses don't die easily? Kaia approached the pool cautiously. Its surface rippled at her presence. Or because breaking the spell started something we don't understand yet. She knelt beside the water, and images formed. Not memories this time, but prophecy. Future. Possibility. She saw both packs thriving, united, strong. Saw her children and Damon's playing together without knowing hatred. Saw a world where Silvermoon and Nightshade were just names, not divisions. Then the vision shifted. She saw fire. Destruction. Both pack territories burning. Wolves dying by the hundreds. And at the center of it all, her and Damon, locked in eternal stasis, their mate bond being used to power something terrible. What is that? Damon breathed, seeing the same vision. The water showed them the truth. Morgana's curse had 3 layers. The first, hatred between packs, they'd broken. The second, denial of love across bloodlines. They'd shattered by completing their mate bond. But the third layer had been sleeping, waiting. A failsafe that would activate if the first 2 were ever overcome. If the packs unite through mate bonds, the magic rebounds. Uses that unified power to destroy everything. No, Kaia whispered. That can't be right. We broke the curse. We freed everyone. You broke the surface. But magic this old has roots. Deep roots that feed on the very thing you think saved you. A figure materialized from the pool's mist. Not Morgana, but something older. a spirit of the land itself, wearing the face of the first which who'd settled here centuries ago. "Who are you?" Damon demanded. "I am the guardian, the keeper of balance, the one who watches as mortals play with forces they don't understand." The spirit's voice echoed strangely. "Morgana's curse was built on my power, twisted to her purposes. You broke her control, but the foundation remains. And it demands payment." "What payment?" "The mate bond between Silvermoon and Nightshade bloodlines is too powerful, too pure. It acts as a beacon, drawing dark magic to this place. In 5 days, at the next full moon, that magic will ignite. It will use your bond as fuel to burn both territories to ash." Kaia's blood turned to ice. "How do we stop it?" "You can't. Not directly." The guardian gestured, and new images formed. "But you can redirect it. Choose sacrifice. One of you enters eternal stasis, neither living nor dead, held in magical suspension. Your bond remains intact but dormant, no longer feeding the backlash. The territories are saved. The packs survive. That's the choice." Damon's voice was hollow. "One of us gives up everything to save the packs. Or you both refuse, stay together, and watch as hundreds die because your love was too strong." The guardian's expression held neither judgment nor sympathy. "That is the nature of ancient magic. Someone always pays the price." She vanished, leaving them alone in the cave with an impossible choice. "No," Kaia said immediately. "There has to be another way. Some ritual or counterspell or—" "There isn't." Damon's voice was flat. "You felt it. That magic is inevitable. Either we redirect it or it destroys everything. Then we fight it. Both of us. Together. And if we fail, if our strength isn't enough—" He turned to face her. "Could you live with yourself, knowing hundreds died because we were too selfish to make the sacrifice? Could you live in stasis? Frozen forever, aware but trapped, while I grow old without you? If it means you're alive?" "Yes." He pulled her close. "If it means the packs survive?" "Yes." "If it means our grandchildren get to grow up in the peace we built?" "Yes." Damon. Chapter 11. The ceremony took place where everything had started, at the split stone, where a boundary line had once divided Silvermoon and Nightshade. Except now there was no line, just a marker, a memory of what used to be. Kaia stood in traditional Silvermoon ceremonial robes, silver and white, her father's colors. Damon stood beside her in Nightshade midnight blue. Together they represented unity. "Bridge. Future. Ready?" Marcus asked, adjusting his daughter's collar. The gesture was so familiar, so dad-like, that Kaia almost cried. "Ready," she answered. Through the soul bond, she felt Damon's matching nervousness and excitement. "We've got this," he sent through their connection. "We always do." The past year had been challenging, beautiful but hard. Learning to exist as two in one took time. They'd struggled with boundaries, with privacy, with the weird reality of never being truly alone. Some days Kaia missed being just herself. Other days, she couldn't imagine existence without Damon's presence in her soul. They'd learned to separate when needed, two bodies operating independently for hours at a time. But underneath, always they felt each other, knew each other, were each other. It made them extraordinary leaders. As promised, they'd guided both packs through the difficult transition to true unity. Not merger. Both Silvermoon and Nightshade kept their names, their territories, their traditions. But they shared resources now, trained together, celebrated together, defended each other. And when wolves from either pack struggled with old prejudices, Kaimon was there, living proof that different bloodlines could be united without being identical. "It's time," Alpha Reeve said, placing a hand on his son's shoulder. "The packs are waiting." They walked together to the stone. Not across a boundary anymore, but to a meeting place. Hundreds of wolves gathered from both territories, all dressed in their finest, all watching with pride and hope. Today, Kaia and Damon would officially become co-alphas. Not Alpha and Luna. Co-leaders. Equal partners. Running both packs as one unified force. It was unprecedented. Revolutionary. Perfect. Elder Sarah from Silvermoon and Elder Thomas from Nightshade stood at the stone's peak. Both smiled as the young wolves approached. "1 year ago," Sarah began, "these two broke an ancient curse. Proved that love is stronger than hatred. United bloodlines that had been separate for 3 centuries. Today," Thomas continued, "they take the next step. From Lunian waiting and future alpha to co-leaders of both our packs. No longer Silvermoon or Nightshade, but both. Together. United. The ceremony was a blend of both packs' traditions. Kaia received the silver pendant marking Silvermoon leadership. Damon received the midnight cloak marking Nightshade authority. Then they exchanged them, Kaia taking the cloak, Damon taking the pendant. "I lead with Silvermoon's wisdom," Kaia declared, wearing Nightshade colors. "I lead with Nightshade's strength," Damon echoed, wearing Silvermoon's symbol. "And together," they said in unison, "we lead as one." The gathered wolves howled, a sound that had once meant warning and war, now meaning celebration and unity. Both packs acknowledged their new co-alphas with pride. Marcus approached first, kneeling before his daughter. "I pledge Silvermoon's loyalty to our co-alphas. To Kaia, who was born of our blood, and Damon, who was chosen by our future." Alpha Reeve did the same. "I pledge Nightshade's loyalty to our co-alphas. To Damon, who carries our legacy, and Kaia, who earned our respect." One by one, wolves from both packs came forward, pledging loyalty, offering congratulations, accepting the new leadership. Even the elders who'd initially opposed the mating now bowed before Kaimon. When the ceremony ended and celebration began, Kaia and Damon found a quiet moment together at the stone's base. They sat side by side, watching their packs mingle, Silvermoon and Nightshade wolves laughing together, sharing food, dancing to combine musical traditions. "We did it," Kaia said softly. "We really did." Damon laced his fingers through hers. "Broke the curse. United the packs. Became something new. Do you ever regret it? The soul binding? Giving up individual existence?" He was quiet for a moment, considering honestly. "Sometimes I miss being just me, having thoughts that are only mine. But then I feel you in here." He touched his chest. "And I remember what we gained is so much bigger than what we lost." "Me too." She leaned her head on his shoulder. "Though I still get annoyed when you eat terrible food and I taste it through the bond. And I get annoyed when you wake up at dawn and drag me with you." They laughed, easy and real. A year of shared existence had taught them to navigate the challenges with humor. "Look," Damon pointed to where a young Silvermoon wolf was teaching a Nightshade pup a tracking technique. "That's what we fought for. Kids who'll grow up never knowing the hatred, never inheriting the curse. And over there," Kaia gestured to where Garrett was arm wrestling with one of her father's warriors, both of them grinning. Wolves who were enemies a year ago, now friends. "It's not perfect," Damon observed. There were still wolves standing in separate groups, still some who eyed the other pack with suspicion. "But it's better. Real better, not forced. Perfect is boring anyway." Kaia kissed his cheek. "I prefer beautifully complicated." Through the soul bond, she felt his love surge, constant and absolute. They'd given up so much to reach this moment. Their individual identities. Easy privacy. Simple existence. But they'd gained everything that mattered. As night fell and both packs continued celebrating under stars that didn't care about boundaries or bloodlines, Kaia felt it. The rightness of this moment. The peace they'd fought for. The unity they'd died and been reborn to create. "Hey," Damon said suddenly. "Do you remember what you said to me that first night? At the split stone? That you were Nightshade and therefore the enemy? After that, you said some loves are meant to be hidden in the shadows. And you asked if they could survive the light." Kaia smiled, understanding where he was going. "We found out, didn't we?" "We did." He pulled her to her feet, leading her into the celebration. "Our love didn't just survive the light. It became it. Lit the way for everyone else." They danced together. Sometimes Kaia leading, sometimes Damon, often moving in perfect synchronization that only shared souls could achieve. Around them, Silvermoon and Nightshade wolves joined the dance, and the boundary line became just another part of the forest floor. Marcus found them near midnight, slightly drunk on celebration and joy. "Your grandmother would be so proud," he said, pulling Kaia into a hug. "Elena spent her whole life dreaming of this unity. You made it real." "We all made it real," Kaia corrected. "You and Alpha Reeve choosing peace over pride. The packs choosing trust over hatred. Damon and I just provided the bridge." "Some bridge." Marcus laughed. "Two souls, one being, leading both packs into a future none of us imagined possible." "Is it strange?" Alpha Reeve asked, joining them. "The soul bond, being unified like that." "Every day," Damon answered honestly. "But also normal now. We can't imagine existing any other way. Like trying to imagine breathing differently," Kaia added. "It's just what we are now." The alphas exchanged glances. Old enemies turned co-leaders turned friends. "To the future," Marcus said, raising his glass. To unity, Reeve added. To impossible love that broke impossible curses, Damon finished. They drank together while the celebration continued around them. Proof that some loves really were meant to survive the light, to thrive in it, to become the very thing that lit the way forward. 3 years later, Kaia stood in the same clearing, holding a bundle wrapped in silvermoon silver and nightshade blue. She's beautiful, Sarah cooed, peering at the sleeping infant. Perfect mix of both bloodlines. The baby, their daughter, had Kaia's green eyes and Damon's dark hair. But more than that, she carried something unprecedented in wolf genetics, dual-pack bonds. She belonged to both Silvermoon and Nightshade equally from birth. What will you name her? Marcus asked, hovering like the protective grandfather he'd become. Kaia and Damon exchanged a glance, communicating through the soul bond they'd maintained for 3 years. They'd learned to separate more fully now, could spend days apart if needed, though they never wanted to. The bond remained their greatest strength. Elena Morgana, Kaia announced. Elena for my grandmother. Morgana to remember that even from darkness, good can grow. Powerful name for a powerful pup, Alpha Reeve said approvingly. He'd retired last year, passing leadership to Damon while remaining as advisor. She'll do great things. Or terrible things, Damon joked. She's got Thornwood stubbornness and Nightshade intensity. We're doomed. You survived soul binding, Marcus laughed. You can survive parenthood. Little Elena stirred, opening green eyes to study her parents. Through the soul bond, both Kaia and Damon felt the same surge of overwhelming love and terror. We're really doing this, Kaia whispered. Raising a child, leading 2 packs, building the future. Together, Damon reminded her, the word that had become their anchor. Always together. Around them, both packs gathered to welcome their first true unity child. A pup born from love that had defied ancient curses, survived impossible trials, and proven that some bonds were stronger than any magic. As sunset painted the sky in Silvermoon silver and Nightshade blue, Kaia looked out across the territories they'd united. Saw wolves from both bloodlines working together, playing together, building lives together. Saw her father laughing with Damon's mother. Saw warriors who'd once been enemies, now training the next generation side by side. Saw the future they'd sacrificed everything to create. Worth it, she murmured. Every moment, Damon agreed. And in that clearing where a boundary line used to divide them, where hatred had once thrived, where an ancient curse had fed on centuries of bloodshed, there was only love. Impossible, forbidden, transformative love. The kind that changes the world. The end. What started as a forbidden attraction across enemy lines became a love that shattered curses and united bloodlines. Kaia and Damon gave up individual existence to become something greater. Proof that unity doesn't mean losing yourself, but finding something bigger than self. Their daughter Elena Morgana will grow up in a world free from manufactured hatred, where Silvermoon and Nightshade are just names, not divisions. And somewhere in whatever afterlife awaits, Elena Thornwood and Thomas Nightshade are watching their grandchildren finally finish what they started. 3 centuries of war ended by 2 souls brave enough to become one. Thank you for joining Kaimon on their journey from forbidden love to unified future. May your own loves be strong enough to shatter curses and brave enough to survive the light.